And to get us started is someone who's always solid on the microphone, our cage announcer, the estimable Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Spirit Bank Event Center here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as Strikeforce presents a big night of mixed martial arts brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink. Party like a rock star. All right, fans, here we go. The time has come to bring out the fighters. It's Strikeforce Challengers.
The opening bout features two heavyweights stepping into the MMA cage for the first time as professionals. Daniel Cormier represented the USA at the 2004 and 2008 Olympics as a wrestler, while Gary Frazier was a high school football and track star.
Tonight is a grand opportunity for me, and I couldn't pass it up. This will be my first pro fight, and I just look forward to stepping in the ring for the first time as a pro fighter. The adrenaline will be pumping, but I'm going to use it to my advantage. Just keep my composure and stick to my game plan. Tonight will be a good night. What a win tonight for me would mean, it'd be tremendous to me. Stepping in the ring with a two-time Olympian and to defeat somebody of that caliber, it shows a lot for me, my character, and the things I'm willing to do. So I think it could definitely set some things up for me in the future.
And now joining us to the blue corner, standing at 6 feet 1 inch, he weighed in at 245 1/4 pounds. Raised in the traditions of wrestling and boxing, tonight he makes his professional MMA debut from Shawnee, Oklahoma. Please welcome the two-time Oklahoma State wrestling champion, Gary Frazier.
Frazier has been training MMA for 2 years. He told us he loves the spotlight. In fact, you can catch him singing some R&B versions of, well, some famous TV themes on YouTube. And for a guy who loves the spotlight, well, making his pro MMA debut here on Showtime, the spotlight couldn't be much bigger.
Well, it's a lot of pressure, but he said he couldn't pass this up. But to be successful against Cormier, he's got to look and find Cormier's chin, make every punch count and have a purpose. Got to use good takedown defense because we know that the single or the double leg takedown is forthcoming, and use the knee to try and catch Cormier on that big chin of his to get him to go out like a light.
Trains with UFC veteran Matt Grice, has been really working on his striking, and really an accomplished athlete, a 110-meter hurdles star, a two-time state champion in wrestling. I mean, this guy has athletics in his genes. And speaking of athletics in his genes, and I'm not talking about his Levi's, this next fighter, his opponent, could be the most accomplished wrestler ever to enter mixed martial arts.
What makes me different is my ability to control the match, control the fight. And for a big guy, I'm going to set a high pace and really try to put on exciting fights. I'm sure a lot of people do that, but I'm going to really focus on trying to make my fights really fun for the fans and exciting for everybody that's watching. What drives me is success. I want to be the champion. I want to be the best in everything I do. That drives me. And in any sport, any competition, you have to strive to be the best. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Tonight I'm ready to go, man. I've trained hard. I've worked extremely hard over the course of these 5 weeks, and I've been looking for this to happen, and finally the time is now.
Joining us to the red corner, standing at 5 feet 10 1/2 inches, he weighed in at 250 1/4 pounds. With a background in wrestling tonight, he also makes his MMA debut, fighting out of San Jose, California, by way of Lafayette, Louisiana. Please welcome the former Oklahoma State University wrestling star and two-time U.S. Olympian, Daniel Cormier.
Cormier, an incredibly affable individual. We mentioned that he was a two-time Olympian. In fact, he was the wrestling captain at the 2008 Olympics, but unfortunately injuries precluded him from entering the competition.
But now he's healthy and training under Bob Cook at American Kickboxing Academy. Bob Cook actually banned him from kicking, so we know that he's going to be coming out throwing a lot of punches. He plans to set the tempo, and that will probably be a brisk one. He plans to take the fight where he wants it, and we know that will be to the floor, and stay focused and be ready and alert, because anything can happen in an MMA fight.
Man responsible for him getting involved in MMA, Muhammad King Molawal in his corner. Pat, two guys making their pro MMA debuts. What's it like?
Well, I tell you what, you can get tunnel vision real quick, or you can seize the moment and become a star overnight. Cormier's been in big arenas in wrestling. He may be able to adjust to this a little better.
Cormier has definitely experienced his fair share of tragedy in his short life. In 2003, his 3.5-month-old daughter was killed in a motor vehicle accident. She is his guiding light.
My daughter's the reason I fight. My daughter's the reason I wrestled. You know, and she's the most beautiful girl in the world, Kaden Emery Cormier. She passed away in June 2003, and she's been my motivation ever since and always will be.
Obviously enters the cage with a heavy heart, but very open about the tragedy in his life. And really, she is his angel over his shoulder, and he says she's with her every single moment of every single day as we go to the tail of the tape for this opening bout, this heavyweight contest. And Pat, when we look at the numbers, what jumps out at you?
Well, Cormier is definitely a short heavyweight, but he's a super explosive guy and can cover the gap quickly, and he's going to need to because Frazier has 3 inches on him and a 5.5-inch reach advantage.
Let's now take you to the rules of combat. 3 judges will score each fight, and they will score each fight based on the 10-point must system. The winner of each round gets 10 points, a loser 9 or less, based on effective striking, grappling, aggression, and cage control. There is no kneeing, forearm, or elbow strikes to the head of a grounded opponent. Only the referee can stop the fight, and we are underway. 3 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Both athletes making their professional MMA debuts under the bright lights of the Strikeforce Challenger Series. And of course, with each having an incredible wrestling pedigree, I anticipate a stand-up war throughout this fight.
It happens a lot of times when 2 wrestlers go at it. They just decide to throw bombs.
I see that Frazier is using a lot of side-to-side motion, but he's still backing up. If he gets his back to the fence, it's going to be a problem.
Frazier looking to counter. He's definitely trying to cut angles and come over the top.
Cormier doing a good job, though, of keeping them against the fence. Inside leg kick by Cormier, and that was one thing he said we would not be seeing because, and he's a very open and honest fighter, and as he lands an overhand right, and it's Frazier going for the first takedown, immediately stuffed by Cormier with a nice knee up the middle. Cormier was telling us that he delivered a kick in practice, and Bob Cook couldn't stop laughing. He said, I will not be using kicks in this fight. Well, he's already been called a liar.
And Frazier, I mean, it's surprising to me. He's coming right after him with the wrestling attempts.
Well, a 2-time state champion in wrestling, 21 years of age, youth is on his side. Now, Cormier immediately gets his back. Frazier is turtled up.
Frazier's got to relax right here. This is a new position for him because in this position with wrestling, there were no strikes, but now he can strike. He's got to free up that left hand and start jackhammering that. He's not going to want to try and put his hooks in. I don't think his jiu-jitsu is that developed. He's going to try and smash his way. A lot of wrestlers come into MMA, and they work better when they work on the ground and pound.
On the undercard, we saw a couple of matches end in the Darce choke from this position, and I know that Daniel Cormier was telling us he's a big fan of the Darce and the arm triangle choke, but right now it's good old-fashioned ground and pound, delivering those hammer fists. Frazier just shelling up, trying to defend.
You really don't want an Olympic wrestler on your back like this for very long. I mean, he's going to make you carry his weight the whole time. He's going to wear you out. Frazier really needs to get moving, and you know, you're not going to win a fight by just staying there. He tried to come up awful tough with an Olympian and hold you down.
Frazier doesn't seem to be too confident in his guard yet because he hasn't even tried to pull guard.
Well, he gets back to his feet, but immediately is on his back, Trying to up kick. Cormier, though, showing some poise for his first fight.
Absolutely, and you saw the power of Cormier there when Frazier tried getting up. I mean, Cormier just like a bear, just pawed it down
Passes
to
the
the ground.
guard, well done, and now is in side control. Cormier, standout wrestler at Oklahoma State University, a program that's produced the likes of MMA great Randy Couture, Mark Munoz, Jake Rochelle, Don Fry, and so many others.
Trap that right arm of Frazier. Now he's going to start blasting with that left hand. Frazier's in a problematic position because he can't block the punches.
Almost got him in the crucifix here, and just, yeah, like you say, an open target is ahead, and now riddling the body with those shots. And Cormier, very focused, very calm and content, busy systematically picking apart Frazier.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting it on Frazier, and you can see Frazier's youth coming out here. I think he's a little shell-shocked by what he's feeling, the power that he's dealing with right now.
Frazier didn't even try to go to guard when he was on his back, and now he's going to start eating those knees to the body.
Cormier started boxing 2.5 months ago in Tulsa. He's been at American Kickboxing Academy in San Jose for the past month, and now it looked like he was almost transitioning into a rear naked choke. Frazier just running away for dear life. Meets him with the right hand, and that backs up Cormier momentarily. Now Frazier loading up with the right.
Frazier telegraphing that right hand.
And he has his hands way low.
I think Frazier's a little angry right now. He's a little tired of getting beat on.
He's frustrated.
He's ready to come back.
And I like what I see out of Cormier in the stand with you guys.
Frazier seems to be the more tired of the two right now. At 21, he's got youth on his side, but Cormier at 30 is a very youthful character.
I think speed and technique-wise and reach-wise, I don't think Frazier realizes he actually has the advantage.
Only 5 pounds separated the two at the weigh-in, although Cormier looks a lot bigger than Frazier.
Cormier doing very well with his jab. I think he should go back to that.
Frazier almost shaving Cormier's whiskers with that right. And we are at the end of round 1.
I need you to keep them hands up, all right? I need you to use that right hand. You're only one punching. You got to put them together, okay? Don't let this guy in the fight, okay? You're doing great.
Here you see Cormier's got both arms trapped. Frazier can't get out of there. He's applying a lot of pressure, beating on the body. People don't realize if it doesn't hurt you, it changes your breathing patterns, which gets you more tired by doing that. There's Cormier throwing a couple punches at him, chasing him across the ring. Couple right hands landed there by Frazier. I think Frazier got a little bold there, landed a couple punches. I think gave him some energy actually.
Fight!
Round 2. Sage advice from Bob Cook in Cormier's corner, asking Cormier to keep his hands up, deliver more than just a single shot. How did you score the opening round fight, Professor?
I would have to say that opening round was a 10-9 round for Daniel Cormier. He controlled the action, delivered more strikes. Frazier didn't look good when he turned his back and ran. That's a no-no. I mean, at least try for a clinch or something or pull guard. But turning and running, judges don't like that.
Frazier pops a nice-looking jab.
Frazier looks terrified here.
Well, he's backed up along the fence again. Pawing jab by Cormier, overhand right, now in the Greco-Roman clinch. Frazier just trying to push him away. Now dropping a level for the single leg. This Cormier can. Frazier holding onto that fence. Watch out. That's illegal.
Hey, he's doing what he had to do.
Yes, but then there he's off. I mean, I know he's a track star, but this isn't a track meet.
Frazier's got to realize, I really think the kid can land some punches if he put 3 or 4 together. He misses the first 2. The third and fourth's going to be there.
Nice left hand by Cormier. Moving side to side. Frazier unloads an overhand right. Ooh.
That was a good kick.
Little south of the equator, but right.
Yeah, and you can see Cormier, you know, although he's a world-class wrestler, this is a different world for him a little bit. Now he's got bombs coming back at him for real for the first time.
And now he continues to dish out the punishment along the fence. Frazier with the right hand. Now we've got a quick exchange. Back to the Greco-Roman clinch.
This has suddenly turned into a fight.
Body lock by Cormier, looking for the big takedown. Nicely blocked by Frazier.
That was beautiful balance. That kid is a good athlete.
You can see him taking in deep breaths, and the crowd here at the Spirit Bank Event Center enjoying every single second of the action. Frazier from Shawnee, Oklahoma. Cormier attended Oklahoma State University. Now Cormier, top position on Frazier.
Yeah, he threw the knee and slipped, as you saw, and I think that was probably more from fatigue than anything else.
He's in the open half guard, dropping those long-range hammer fists. And now Stephen Quadros, he's playing the drums on his face.
He really is. I would have to say that was almost a paradiddle, left, right, and a right, left, right, right. Frazier, I think, is fighting a little bit too much on adrenaline, and it's going to really be hard for him if this goes to the third round to continue and be defensive at all.
Pat, you've trained a lot of champions. His pro MMA debut, he is still just dipping the toes into the water, so to speak, in terms of training as Cormier postures up. What do you think of Cormier's performance thus far?
You know what? I think he's doing pretty well. First time in the ring on national TV, on Showtime. I mean, most kids would be completely petrified.
No, I'm really impressed with his overall composure. He is taking his time, biding his time, looking for the shots, and now in the full mount, dropping the lefts and the rights on Gary Frazier.
Frazier has got to buck at least once. Try and buck him off.
Nicely done, going to the body, opening up the head. And now Frazier gives up his back.
Hooks in.
A minute and a half left in the second round.
Frazier getting pounded on the ears.
And Frazier right now looks like the proverbial fish out of water. The referee stops the fight. You can slap some good old JR's barbecue sauce on Frazier. He is done.
More.
And we've got Cormier coming over to the broadcast area saying, "What's up, Moro?" I'll tell you what's up. Your hand is about to be up, raised in victory in your professional MMA debut. What a performance there, Pat.
Yeah, I think he fought very well, and I got to give it to Frazier. Frazier fought very well for his first time in the ring against an Olympic wrestler like that. I mean, Cormier's a physical freak, very powerful guy. Frazier did a good job.
Lafayette, Louisiana, stand up. Northside High School, what's up? GDP, Team Thirsty.
And Frazier may have tasted defeat in his pro MMA debut, but as you mentioned, a very valiant effort. Two heavyweights going at it to kick off this edition of Strikeforce Challenger Series. And again, Daniel Cormier, the two-time U.S. Olympic wrestler, wins his MMA debut.
Here's Frazier with cat-like balance for a big guy. Look at that. He tried the hip tossing, then he tried the trip. Frazier defended both of them. That's impressive stuff. I mean, you can tell he's a state wrestling champ. You know, with Cormier on top of him, you know, he's got a lot of power. Those punches are hitting a lot harder than you think. You could feel the impact of them all the way over here, cage side. He does hit very hard. Here's Cormier taking his time, mounted, putting a little pressure across the throat. People don't notice that a lot of times. Adding that little bit of choke now and then, pressure, dropping the bombs, and realizing that if he put it on him here, ref's going to jump in and stop it as he got his back. The power of Cormier's hips there. I mean, putting the hips in there with the legs in with an Olympic wrestler on you, it nearly break your spine a lot of times.
Now to make it official, let's bring you up to the cage. And once again, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 3 minutes, 39 seconds in round number 2. Our referee in charge, Kevin Nix, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of TKO in his professional debut, Daniel Cormier.
describe the feeling of winning your first MMA fight on live TV?
Hey, I'm gonna ask the crowd, was that exciting or what? I come to fight. This is what I chose to do, so I gotta leave it out there on the mat. Thanks to Gary Frazier for coming out. I wanna say thanks to my coach, John Smith, my family for coming up, and all my sponsors.
Okay, now, break it down for us how you took the victory.
Gary threw some good jabs, cut me, I wasn't moving my head enough, as Bob Cook says, but then I landed some big right hands, wasn't throwing it enough because I kind of injured my wrist about a week and a half ago, so if I could have really threw the right hands, one of my best weapons, I would have finished him earlier. But I just kept pressuring him, so like I said, I'm gonna set the pace of the fight.
Daniel, congratulations. Give it up for him one more time. Daniel Cormier. Cormier.
Go hotel. Come party with DC, baby. Let's go.
Daniel Cormier victorious in his professional MMA debut, and somewhere his daughter is smiling down upon him.
Time I start talking, just give me a thumbs up. Any point in time, I tell you stop, all right?
All right. You circle out of distance, or you be first. Got it? You don't wait for them to come. All right?
It's time for action in the heavyweight division. Two-time Olympic wrestler Daniel Cormier puts his unblemished MMA record on the line against the double tough Devin Cole.
Referee Greg Franklin will oversee the scheduled 3 5-minute rounds.
Red, you ready? Blue, you ready? Let's go, gentlemen.
This heavyweight contest underway, the two-touch gloves. Cole, plenty of KO power, 10 of his 18 wins coming via form of knockout. Cormier proving to be very well-rounded early in his career. His 6 wins comprising 3 knockouts and 3 submissions.
Cole really being wise by using that jab to set up the right hand to avoid that clinch. He's got to stay out of that thing.
He got nailed by a jab from Cormier.
We knew that was coming.
Yeah, I know our Strikeforce web designer knows how that kick feels. Inside leg kick from Cormier.
You know, it was a very good kick for a guy that's just been involved in MMA for a year and a half, coming from a wrestling background. You don't see it happen that fast.
Well, when you're with a camp called American Kickboxing Academy, something tells me you're going to learn a thing or two about that, as we say a very special hello and Happy New Year to all the brave men and women around the world watching on the American Forces Network. We hope you're enjoying Strikeforce Challengers. Thank you for everything that you do. Uppercut from Cormier jacks the jaw of Cole. Another kick. And boy, just intercepting that overhand right from Cole, the push kick from Cormier.
Cormier using all different kinds of techniques that are very sophisticated. Oh!
Beautiful throw there by the Olympic wrestler right into side control.
Man, he's laying down an instructional right now.
You know, that was some sharp wrestling, man. He hit 2 inside trips, missed them both, and then boom, hit the lateral drop. That's some really cool transition stuff right there.
And Pat, talk a little bit more as he's looked like he's going for a guillotine here. Transitions in MMA, something that, you know, as we're enjoying a bigger audience tonight, what is exactly what are you talking about when you talk about transitions?
You know, the guys that can transition from punching to a takedown into the grappling, into the striking, back and forth, it all becomes one thing to them. It's no longer wrestling and kickboxing and boxing. It's fighting.
And you can see the superiority in the wrestling here early on as Cormier riding his back momentarily, now has the body lock.
You do not want to be here with Daniel Cormier, because if he gets his hips underneath you, you are going for a ride.
Well, speaking of transitions, though, to give Cole credit, he did stand back up from under Daniel Cormier.
Very
Absolutely.
good point. And he was also an All-American at Southern Oregon. And just like a lot of wrestlers, missed the competition when his wrestling career ended. And man, I think, you know, MMA was a godsend to wrestlers.
Yeah, everybody's got their highest level, their professional sport, except wrestlers. And then when MMA came along, all the wrestlers started salivating.
Come on, guys.
Well, one thing, there was a lot of criticism in the last couple of months that wrestling was a boring style, was going to slow down MMA. But with guys like Daniel Cormier and even Devin Cole, that is not being true, because these guys are truly well-rounded at this point.
Stalemate in the stand-up right now. Short uppercut, elbow from Cole. Quick right hand from Cormier, closing the gap again. Giving up 3 inches in the reach advantage and just really wearing down this, you know, Cormier, the heavier guy, using his weight well here against the fence.
Yeah, but you know what? Look at Cole. You can see he's got some very good wrestling skills. He's dealing with an Olympian, 2-time Olympian. Cormier's tried several inside trips, tried several other things, and Cole's defended almost all of them.
Cole's got a 5-inch height advantage. I mean, physically bigger guy, but not the heavier of the 2 individuals. And Cormier continues to pin him up along the fence.
To follow up on what you said, Pat, Cole himself told us that his MMA wrestling was better than Cormier's.
Well, and you know, conceptually it may be. Obviously, pure wrestling, Cormier has much higher, a higher pedigree. But I tell you what, he's doing a great job in this fight.
Yeah, Cole is there and he's throwing.
Final minute, overhand right connects from Cormier, and Cole took it.
Kind of a slap.
Uppercut.
Right there, you saw the transition.
There's the head kick from Cormier, another kick. And in the final minute, Cormier beginning to really diversify his striking attack. Misses with the wild right.
One thing I like about Cormier is he's using head movement after the kicks.
Uppercut, man, Cole can take a punch. There's the trip takedown by Cormier, sending a message to the judges. Take
lot more of the transitions that we were talking about transitions, the feints and the fakes. You can use it with the wrestling too, and Cormier did that. He changed levels, fake a takedown, hit some punches, back in on the legs, and back upstairs. He had Cole confused that whole time. It was beautiful.
10 seconds.
Final 10 seconds of a competitive opening round between a couple of, well, guys with wrestling backgrounds, Daniel Cormier and Devin Cole.
Great first round. I tell you what, there's Cormier. He tried the inside trip and then tried it again. The cage saved him, and then boom, big throw by Cormier. Great transitions, chaining things together. Cormier's got great striking. That barely missed the chin. That kind of hit the side of the head of Cole. Had that landed on the button, it might have been over. You talk about wrestlers being able to kick. It takes a long time for him to learn. But I tell you what, he's pretty flexible for a big boy. Very fluent with his kicks. Nice to see that. Very nice to see that. And then here he is again after all of the work he did, changing levels, faking the takedowns, hitting uppercuts, hooks, boom, back in, changed levels again, got the takedown. Cole was very confused at that point.
Corner him out, corner him out. Corner him out, corner him out. You ready? You ready? Let's go, gentlemen.
Cole, the most experienced fighter that Daniel Cormier has faced. Cormier saying he's ready for the next challenge. Getting it here tonight, another nice outside leg kick from Cormier, who again continues to show his evolution as a striker. And Pat, you raved about the fact that as a wrestler, this guy's taking a striking like a duck to water.
You can see he loves striking, and that's a cool thing. He understands that being a great wrestler makes him a dangerous striker already, because everybody's afraid of the takedown. Beautiful, beautiful wizard.
Sprawling. And you know, you talk about the first M in MMA. Well, Cormier definitely has the mixed in mixed martial arts now, continuing to control Cole. He's working that wizard. You can hear his corner, Bob Cook, telling him to keep that wizard tight.
I like how he was trying to pull a single, then he decided to let that go, got the upper body clinch, and then finally got Cole on his back. So he's really showing a mastery of transitions, an area that Devin Cole was a little bit leery about.
Peppering him with a series of right hands. Cole finally bringing his left hand up to block. Just being smothered by Cormier against the fence.
Yeah, you've got to put yourself in Devin Cole's position here. Imagine a guy that's as powerful as Cormier, and you can't understand how strong those guys are until they grab a hold of you. But you're pressed against a cheese grater. You know how much the chain link fence hurts on the back of your head when you've got a guy smashing you into it.
Now in full mount. Cole using the fence to try to launch himself up. Nicely done by Cole, but Cormier immediately goes on the attack again, sprawling out.
It was a great move by Cole, because up against the fence like that, he only had one place to roll. And of course, Daniel Cormier would have posted out and prevented it.
Yeah, Steven, and I think that was experience coming out definitely there.
Oh, yeah.
Side position, Cormier controlling Cole here in round number 2. Nearing the 2-minute round mark of the middle stanza.
Side control, and it appears that Daniel Cormier is not very interested in submissions right now, mainly positional control and punches.
We should mention that only one of Cormier's 6 previous fights has gone into the second round, and that ended at the 3:39 mark at Challengers 3 in September of last year when he defeated Gary Frazier. Again, a much bigger challenge in terms of experience here in Devin Cole, but Cormier showcasing again the mixed and mixed martial arts. We've seen the wrestling, we've seen the top control, we've seen the striking.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to see from him here at this stage?
You know what? He's doing what he has to do. He's keeping pressure on Devin Cole. Not going to make a mistake and go for a submission and lose position. He's just going to keep wearing him out and punishing him. He's doing his job.
And he's worked Cole away from that fence to where Cole can't use that to spin around or to wall walk back up.
He might have learned something from that first roll, huh?
Only like 2 or 3 low kicks, and look at that leg.
There's a right hand right into the midsection of Devin Cole, trying to drive the wind out of the lungs there, now into north-south.
Oh, lots of options there.
And again, the scramble by Cole, but Cormier always one step ahead of him. Back into north-south position. Blisters the body with another shot. There's an elbow to the rib cage, and he continues to ride Devin Cole here in round 2. Puts the first hook in.
good job of dropping his hip right there right away. But one thing that you'll notice, and we'll see if they transition again, but I tell you what, Cormier's doing a great job of keeping all of his weight on Cole the whole time.
Looking for that rear naked choke. 3 wins via submission. One of them has been via RNC, the other due to strikes. So it's obviously a submission that Daniel Cormier has worked on a lot in the gym with Dave Camarillo, the proprietor of Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu. Final minute, 50 seconds now, and it's been all Daniel Cormier in round 2.
It's going to be very hard for him to get Devin Cole because Devin Cole understands how to control that top arm.
There we go. Work for that. There we go, Devin. Lock that in. Lock that in.
Devin going for a Kimura.
There we go.
Yeah, he's going to try and roll him through, but you can see Cormier dropping his hip, sinking the weight. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that on Cormier.
He's got the key lock. Cormier very controlled, not panicking whatsoever.
No, he looks like he's sitting around watching TV.
Final 10 seconds.
10 seconds, gentlemen.
Cole looking for the dramatic submission here, but it looks like time is going to expire in round number 2.
Cormier was all over Cole in the first round here. See Cole trying to hit a takedown, gets withered and dumped onto his knees by Cormier. Beautiful, powerful hips by Cormier. I can't imagine how powerful that kid is. Never had him grab me, don't want him to. And then here, that's experience right there. Walking up the cage and getting himself out of a horrible position. Cole did a great job there, had some good composure. But now here you go. Boom, big body shot. His hand disappeared in his belly. That's some power there.
The belly of the beast.
Yeah, nice shot.
Red, final round. Back to your corner. You ready? Ooh, you ready? Let's go, gentlemen.
Third and final round. What have you liked the most, Fight Professor, out of Daniel Cormier's performance thus far?
I like his versatility. He pretty much kickboxed the early part of the first round, got that round in the bag 10-9, and then, of course, he wrestled and proved his dominance in that position. Went for a couple of submissions, didn't get him, moved out of them, and controlled the round.
How do you have it after 2 rounds?
I've got it 20-18, 2-0 for Daniel Cormier.
Coach, you've been in the corner of many champions. What does Devin Cole have to do here, knowing perhaps that he is down by 2 rounds? I mean,
he's got to go for a KO. Got to go for a KO here. He's got to win by knockout. He's definitely down 2018, as Steven said.
So this is where you begin to take those chances then, right?
You just start letting leather fly, get into a low stance, avoid the takedown attempts by Cormier, and let it happen.
Pretty much doing it. And Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. Just throw.
Push away. Push away, Devin.
Cormier's got some sneaky little uppercuts. He just hooks the head real quick, boom, pops him in there. Very, very good technique on that.
Working the over-under now, the 50-50 position along the fence.
You mentioned technique, Pat. I would have to say that Cormier has really become a technician in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, he's very smooth this early in the career.
And this is uncharted waters for Cormier. The first time he's been in the 3rd round does not look the worse for wear whatsoever.
No, I think that has a lot to do with, one, obviously he's a superior athlete, but his composure. You look at him the whole time, his facial expression really never changes.
Great poker face.
Cole felt it was the 3rd round that was going to be Cormier's undoing because he said he'd never been this deep and he wanted to take him here. Let's see if he can capitalize.
Well, referee Greg Fricklin giving Cole an opportunity to pull out a dramatic win, calling for the break.
I think it was a good call by the referee, and if I'm Devin Cole, I'm saying thank you.
And there's that sneaky uppercut you were talking about. Overhand right, left hand just misses from Cormier. Immediately regroups, looking for the shot. Oh, there's a nice job by Cole. Has to watch that knee, though. No knees to the head of a grounded opponent, but Cormier immediately gets his back again with Cole in the turtle position.
Nice little scramble, but when you look at Devin Cole's a very good wrestler. wrestler, make no mistake. It was a scramble. The Olympic level wrestler comes out on top in that
And
scramble.
really, at this stage of his career, Devin Cole, a perfect opponent for Daniel Cormier, giving him the rounds, giving him the necessary competition. Sure, he's losing, but he's not capitulating, giving Cormier an opportunity to showcase his evolution.
Absolutely, but at the same time, if I'm Cormier, I want to put this guy away. And Cole's not
Testament
going
to Cole.
anywhere.
That's it, exactly. We've seen him eat a couple of nasty shots early on.
Cole's definitely resilient, the taller man, yet ironically he's the lighter man in this fight, and I think that's been a big thing. I think that Cormier is using his weight to good avail against Cole.
There's a collar tie by Cole, but the body shot from Cormier, and they really are just some dirty boxing, very close quarters, just grinding away here with 1 minute and 50 seconds left in the final round.
I think one of the keys for Cormier would be get some distance, throw that low kick, because Cole had no block for that thing. And if he cracked him a couple more times, this fight would be a different situation standing.
Yeah, Cole looks a little fatigued. I think the power of Cormier has worn him out.
Right low kick right now, because keeping this distance like this, he's only going to be able to hook and uppercut his way into the clinch. But Devin Cole, he should stay on the outside.
And there's been talk that, you know, Cole at 239 pounds, he says that he probably could make it to light heavyweight. And, you know, noticing right now another takedown by Cormier, and they may have sealed the deal here with 1 minute 9 seconds left. But, you know, Cole may be able to be a force at 205 if he can get down there.
Yeah, I mean, he's fought a lot of really big heavyweights and done very well. I think he should be at 205, and honestly, I think Cormier could make 205 and would wreck people at 205.
Really? 249 pounds, 31 years old?
Yeah, but he'll admit to you, he doesn't even desire the diet at all. That kid likes to eat and train. He wants to focus on technique, not cutting weight.
Well, he's a happy fighter now. Maybe at 205 he wouldn't be so happy.
And you know, you talk about resilience. Daniel Cormier has had a lifetime and then some of tragedy, losing a baby daughter in a car accident, losing his father as a child, and it's just been amazing that how well put together, how amazing this guy is as a human being, first and foremost, putting all of that motivation and inspiration into this mixed martial arts career, and looking very good here as he is cruising to what should be a unanimous decision win, unless he's able to stop Cole here in the final 10 seconds.
Gentlemen.
Fighting with urgency. That's what he said.
For the first time in his career, Cormier is forced to go the distance.
Overall, a pretty competitive round. Cole did a good job, but here's Cormier shooting. He shot from too far out, didn't set it up enough with his takedowns. Luckily, Cole missed that knee because that was an illegal knee. Technically, could have ended the fight there and lost. And then here's the punches in the clinch, something that Cormier is doing really well. He's transitioning, tying up, changing levels, throwing uppercuts, grabbing the head, throwing another uppercut. Beautiful stuff. And then here, finally, the inside trip works for him. Good timing on it, further, far enough away from the cage where Devin didn't fall against the cage and save himself. Nice way to finish the fight for Cormier.
And Devin did a lot, but he was always a little bit short in all the exchanges.
Yeah, I mean, Cormier is just a quick guy. He has good head movement, slides inside of the reach of Cole, and did a beautiful job. Great fight for him.
Quite good. I did it quite well. As well as I wanted to. You did a good job, though, bud. You did a good job. Tough guy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecard where all three judges cage side scored the bout 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Daniel Cormier.
Daniel Cormier improving to 7-0. Congratulations, Daniel. The first time that you've gone the distance, and really you talk about your evolution as a fighter. You said you were ready for a challenge. Devin Cole gave it to you tonight, didn't he?
Yeah, man, he did an incredible job. He fought well, fought hard. He can take a shot. I landed some pretty decent shots on him, and
little disappointed, but
why is that? Because at the broadcast table, Pat Miletich, Stephen Quadros, and myself continue to really rave about your evolution as a fighter, yet I can see it on your face. Why are you disappointed with the win?
I don't think we expect a performance like that at AKA and my coaches, so I feel like I kind of let them down, but I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate the opportunity for Strikeforce and Devin for taking the fight.
What's next for you, do you think? What's the next step?
I mean, I want to continue to improve and move up the ladder. Obviously, that's up to Scott Coker and the rest of the guys at Showtime. So I'm going to just continue to work and continue to improve. It was a hard fight. I want to thank all my coaches, my manager, Dwayne Zinkin, by Zinkin Entertainment, all my sponsors. I appreciate it. All my family, I love them. Better next time.
Well, I don't know, Nashville, what did you think? Devin Cole picking up the win via unanimous, or excuse me, Daniel Cormier picking up the victory via unanimous decision, improving to 7-0.
And now, please welcome to the cage with a record of 42 wins and 11 losses. Here is the tough former heavyweight title challenger from Olympia, Washington, Jeff the Snowman Monson.
So Jeff Monson comes into the cage. Mauro, we had a chance to talk to him. This is a very passionate man about many of his beliefs.
Yeah, very much so. He's known for being an anarchist, and to tell you the truth, he doesn't like that term because of its bad connotations. He says he doesn't believe in burning down the government. He compares his beliefs to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's fireside chats, where he said that every American should have a job, education, transportation, a place to live. He wants equality for everyone and the same basic opportunities for all of mankind. But Frank, inside the cage, it's survival of the fittest. And what he has going for him is that he is, without a doubt, one of the best submission practitioners in the heavyweight division. But he told us in the fighter meeting, told me on my radio show earlier this week, win or lose, he's going down to 205 after this fight tonight at 40. Can he do it?
I think he can go down and weight for certain. The question is, can he stand up to this two-time Olympian tonight? He's got to use that submission ability tonight. His key in the cage, go for submission holds. Chain them together, get as many as he can. That's his only chance, in my opinion, winning this fight.
And now, making his way to the cage with a record of 7 wins and no losses, please welcome the U.S. Olympian from Lafayette, Louisiana, the undefeated Daniel Cormier.
So the two-time Olympic wrestler is one of the rising prospects in mixed martial arts.
And he has had more than his fair share of tragedy. When he was 7, his father was shot and killed. In 2003, his 3.5-month-old daughter, Kaden, was killed in a car accident, and it's that loss that continues to motivate him today. He says that he sees his daughter sitting on the cage every time that he fights, and that her spirit has guided him to his success. And now, he's the new father of a 4-month-old son, Daniel, and he continues to improve exponentially in his transition from Olympic wrestler to full-fledged mixed martial artist.
And he is well on his way, and with the right camp, with the American Kickboxing Academy, he's got the right team behind him. And tonight is key in the cage, good, clean boxing. He can control the takedown, he can control where this fight goes, but he's just got to keep those hands tight and punch down the pipe.
And that brings us to the tail of the tape as we prepare for 2 more heavyweights to battle, Cormier versus Monson.
And the numbers here all swing in favor of Cormier. He's 8 years younger, and he's got 5.5 pounds on him.
All right, fans, here we go. Heavyweights in the cage, scheduled 3 5-minute rounds. And introducing our referee in charge of the action, Leon Roberts.
Okay, first round, you ready to fight? You ready to fight? Bring it on, come on.
Monson, Cormier, and speaking of Monson, he told us he was a decent college wrestler. He knows he won't be able to take down the two-time Olympian in Cormier.
Well, if that's the case, it could be a long night then for Monson, because in order for him, I think, to win this fight, the former Abu Dhabi submission wrestling champion, a guy who has 26 submission wins out of his 42 victories, Frank, he has to find a way to take Cormier down.
He's got to find a way, but he can jump to the guard. I mean, there's a ton of ways to get this fight down. But as soon as he gets it down, he's got to literally start chaining those holds together.
In his last fight, we saw marked improvement in Cormier striking, going the distance for the first time in his young career against Devin Cole. And I think he has the striking advantage against a guy, again, a diminutive heavyweight in the 5'9" Jeff Monson.
Cormier also saying that this is a huge step up for him, taking on the fighter of a caliber of Jeff Monson.
And Monson's got 53 fights. Monson did a real good job of clinching last time and kneeing that thigh, and I think that's a real good strategy for him. He can't stay at the end of the punches of Daniel Cormier.
Some effective counter-striking in the early going from Cormier, again representing American Kickboxing Academy, a school you know very well, Frank, and truly we are seeing the evolution of a mixed martial artist.
And Monson's got ways to get this down. He could also kick and leave himself vulnerable to a punch that he could fall back and take him down.
Monson once vied for the UFC heavyweight title, falling to Tim Sylvia's got 19-5 since then.
And a cut on the top of Monson's head.
And he's riding an 8-fight win streak. Coming into this, his Strikeforce debut.
This is not a bad position for Monson, but he's got to do some short shots on the inside and keep those knees working. He can't let Daniel stay tight in there.
Yeah, Monson doing what he had to do, disengaging and striking.
Cormier showing a nice right hand, very quick. Now trying to put his combinations together as Monson backs up.
And he's beginning to mark Monson's face up. Beating him to the punch, has the height and reach advantage. Mixing in those kicks as well.
But Jeff Monson's making a small mistake on the stand-up. He's walking into the power of Cormier.
And now he's in the southpaw stance.
He's got to keep stepping here to his right and getting out of the way of that power. Cormier loading up that right hand. He's very confident with it now.
Cormier telling us that he's throwing a lot more straighter punches, more confident.
Ooh, nice left hook by Cormier as he showed him the right hand. And you're right, Morrow. Cormier mixing up both his punches and his kicks.
Beautiful body kick delivered there by the former two-time Olympic wrestler.
Daniel Cormier, another right hand gets through.
Nice 1-2 combo there.
Was a decorated high school athlete in Louisiana. He's from Lafayette, Louisiana. Had scholarship offers to play linebacker at Louisiana State University, Michigan State, and Mississippi State, but elected to wrestle instead.
Frank, what do you think of the improvements you're seeing here in Cormier's striking, putting together some crisp combinations, leading with a jab, and very patient?
Very patient, very centered now. He used to be really leaning forward in that wrestling stance, and this is enabling him to kick now, because now he's got his body in the center that can flow.
And the cut on the top of Monson's head, very deep left hook getting through to Cormier.
Monson's doing a pretty good job of moving around, but he's still kind of walking into the power off and on. Switching stance is helping him. He's mixing up the target a little bit.
Daniel Cormier, very relaxed, left hook, right hand, knee, as he steps up. And is it surprising, Frank, that Cormier has not tried to get this fight to the ground with his wrestling background?
I don't think he'll take this fight to the ground. I think he'll stand up and box.
Yeah, I think exactly. He's enjoying too much of a comfort zone here in the stand-up. And Monson's just staying in the pocket, not, coming in at angles, or he's backing up straight. Good round for Cormier.
action. And Cormier going to the body and following with that left hook, but they both bumped down.
Rams battering heads there.
That's a good way to pop it open. But nice, clean punches. And this jumping left, that was probably the best shot so far that Cormier's landed. And he was kind of jumping forward when he did it. So he had a little bit of power taken out of it. But he's punching with combinations, and this is what's damaging Munson's face. He's reaching out, he's relaxing, and his hand was a little bit loose there.
I'm noticing Cormier throwing the left with his hand open, Frank.
Got to be careful of that. Now, it keeps you relaxed and it keeps you confident, but it also endanger your hands.
Can break your hands.
And a very interesting statistic in that first round.
No takedown attempts whatsoever. And 34 out of 34 power strikes landed by Cormier. Just 2 power strikes landed by Munson. And that really was the story of the opening 5 minutes. Frank, how'd you score that round?
I got it all for Cormier. And what concerned me about Munson is him telling us, yeah, I don't think I can take him down.
And he hasn't tried.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, he's got to try. He's got to at least go for it, because on that takedown, he can jump to guard. He can do his wrestling game. He can't do his submission game on his feet.
I like the diversity Cormier is showing in his combinations and kicks.
Cormier, so relaxed and confident in the cage.
And he's got good head movement. Look at him measuring now, reaching out.
A lot of velocity on those kicks as Munson swings wildly.
And there you see Cormier's done his homework. Munson was on his back. Cormier not going after him. Cormier seems to be in better shape as well physically. Seems to have tightened up around the middle. And there is some talk that maybe one day, he said it himself, maybe it goes down to 205, but he's got a lot of things to do still at heavyweight.
Cormier wanted to make this a showcase for himself, especially with all the great heavyweights in action tonight.
He's only had to go the distance one in his short MMA career once, and that was in his last fight. Conditioning has never been a problem.
Looping right hand, landing on the side of the head for Munson as he tries to drive Cormier onto the cage.
Don't cut the cage, Daniel. Don't cut the cage.
He needs to fight for hand control here. Cormier needs to get that hand control back and or slip himself out to the side and get back in that boxing position.
Ooh, nice right hand as they break by Munson. Cormier comes back.
As I mentioned, Munson's won 26 fights via submission. His last submission victory came against a Canadian fighter by the name of Lee Meehan, a good friend of mine who suffered a personal loss this week. My thoughts and prayers are with the Meehan family in Canada.
American Airlines Center here in Dallas, Texas. Daniel Cormier in black. The two-time Olympic wrestler Jeff Munson, veteran mixed martial artist, in gray. 3 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Good jab by Munson, right hand, left hook, as Cormier comes back.
One of the things that Cormier is doing well is when he's throwing punches, he's moving his head out of the way at the same time.
And it's interesting how quickly he responds, because Munson, as Gus has mentioned, is sticking that jab, but unable to follow up, and Cormier immediately counters with a flurry of punches. No single shots, putting together the combinations.
And Cormier has faced so much adversity in his life, losing loved ones,
and yet now celebrating the birth of his son Daniel, showing us pictures at the fighter meetings, and you couldn't ask for a more down-to-earth, humble person, and what a great ambassador, as so many fighters in MMA are. Daniel Cormier, just a class act, as is, Jeff Munson. Say what you will about his political beliefs, he's a tremendous grappler, tremendous fighter, and a tremendous teacher, Frank.
Yeah, and a wonderful guy. He loves teaching, he loves giving back, and he loves teaching people MMA. And the positive attributes of MMA: condition your body, get your mind right, get your community together. That's what really helped Cormier, was having those Olympic wrestlers. They pulled him out. He said wrestling saved his life and saved him.
And MMA saved your life, Frank.
It did. Amen to that.
119 remaining in the second round, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Daniel Cormier has been the aggressor from the very beginning. Great body shot by Cormier. Munson very well conditioned to take some of the punishment that he's been taking in this fight, with 1 minute to go in the second round.
Cormier's starting to loosen up his hips now and get those kicks going. I like that body kick he was landing.
Ooh, lead right hand gets through for Cormier.
This has been a very technically precise performance by Cormier. Maybe not the most exciting right now, but for a guy at this stage of his career, Frank, facing a guy with so much more experience, so many tools when it comes to the ground game, Cormier showcasing his striking. What more would you like to see out of him if this goes to the third round?
I mean, the only thing I would add at this point is elbows, because I think he can do a lot of damage from his ability to control that clinch with his elbows. Munson's starting to fatigue a little bit.
That's 10, gents.
The end of the second round. Some good striking for Cormier.
Very clean, and his hands are open, but he's nice and relaxed. He's landing that overhand right. When he gets the head, he's getting nice, clean uppercuts in, and he's kneeing the thighs and body. And
Is that by design? The hands open?
By design, you know, because when you close your hands, it makes them tense.
And don't forget, coming up, we'll get an opportunity to see the electric KJ Nunes. He's looking for a fight with Gilbert Melendez, but first, he'll have to get by a young man that made his name similar to that of Kimbo Slice, fighting on the internet, in the street, Jorge Masvidal. That's Nunes versus Masvidal. Coming up next, third round, third and final round. Daniel Cormier, Jeff Monson, heavyweights in the cage. And Cormier very dominant in the first two rounds. And when you look at him, Frank, he kind of has a Fedor Emelianenko type body.
He does. He doesn't. He ain't a big rocked up stud, but he's throwing bombs out there.
He even mentioned that even though he walks around at 240, he wouldn't be opposed to going down to 205 in the future.
A statistic that really stands out after 10 minutes of action. Cormier landing Monson 68-9 in power strikes, according to CompuStrike. And still, through 2 rounds, Frank, not one single takedown attempt.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. Unless someone falls down, I don't think it's happening.
Ooh, nice teep there delivered by Cormier, of course, a.k.a. Jim, that you helped found, Frank. What's the philosophy when it comes to the striking over at American Kickboxing Academy?
Keep it simple, stay centered, throw combinations, and move your head. That's how you do good, basic striking. Now, Javier Mendez is a wonderful coach because he takes your body according to how it works, and he puts the simplicity into striking. Now, Cormier ought to cut off the cage in this one. Try to corner Monson now and get him to get into this, boxing game.
Nice.
Beautiful shot.
Followed. The straight right hand got through as well. Oh, another left hook, and that staggers Monson. Daniel Cormier has some quick hands.
Monson has to know he's down in the scorecards, and I'm surprised that he's staying in the pocket.
Straight right hand again. Monson in trouble. Backpedaling, blood coming out of his mouth
there. Finally, and look at him, he's just shucked off. There's no denying Daniel Cormier is running Monson in this fight.
Excuse me, Marlon, with 3:13 to go in the third and final round. Daniel Cormier trying to finish Jeff Monson.
And what a feather in his cap that would be.
Frank, you have to be impressed with Cormier's hand speed, his fluidness, his reflexes, and his combinations of both punching and kicking.
He's just really grown as an MMA fighter. And I can say even more so, I was impressed just who he is as a person. He really touched me when he came in and shared that about his family and all the trials he had, and seeing a sports psychologist said he used to cry and break down between training sessions.
You know, 5 of his 7 wins have come inside the first round. There could be a method to this madness. Maybe he wants to get the experience. Maybe he wants to get the cage time in, Frank, and that's why he's being so methodical, so patient, and just looking to pick apart the veteran here tonight.
Well, Jeff Monson is no joke, and he's had a lot of wars.
Cormier trying to shoe shine.
Strafing his body with a nice combination.
Nice sprawl by Cormier, and he'll back up and make the veteran get back on his feet with 1:50 to go.
Munson was known as a snowman, name given to him by Enzo Gracie when he went through 4 Brazilians, winning the 1999 Abu Dhabi submission wrestling. Right now, he is melting due to the improved striking of Daniel Cormier. And let's face it, Munson is a tough out. 11 losses, he's only been stopped 4 times in his career.
Munson's a stud. I think Cormier goes to some elbows here. That's the one thing he hasn't added is some elbows.
That's working, James. That's working.
There's a nice knee to the midsection by Cormier.
Watch your fingers.
1 minute remaining in the 3rd and final round. Whoa! Cormier using that great strength.
And that was scored as a takedown for Cormier. Munson 0 for 2 in the takedown department in this fight.
The coming out party, Daniel Cormier, and he has looked terrific.
Nice 1-2 leg kick, just beautiful striking.
Dr. Cormier is in the house. Nothing but surgical precision. As Munson has been unable to solve the riddle, now switching stances again.
Right on the chin.
Munson picking it up, trying to chase him down. He's still in this game, man.
And that's it. What a performance by Daniel Cormier. He wanted to showcase his talents here in Dallas as this heavyweight Grand Prix Strikeforce tournament continues. He did just that tonight. And we'd like to welcome the men and women serving around the world watching tonight's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do.
And I can't tell you enough, Gus, going to airports in all the cities across America, the soldiers that talk about MMA, we really appreciate everything they do.
Well, it was all about the striking of Daniel Cormier. Look at that right hand tipping the chin of Munson and the left hook. Finding his range. Cormier, once he found his range, he was dipping him shoulders. And as the rounds went on, look, he's moving his head, he's touching the punches and coming right back. He talked about wanting to stay in the pocket, feeling confident with his punches. And it shows right here. I mean, moving the head, counter, rolling the shoulders. This is beautiful. Straight punches. This is what I was hoping to see from Daniel Cormier. Finding that center, and he wanted nothing to do with the ground.
His toolbox continues to grow.
Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. in the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges scoring about the same, 30-27 in favor of the winner, and still undefeated, Daniel Cormier.
Determination is probably one of my biggest attributes. Right now, my life revolves around winning this competition.
Size and strength don't matter. What matters is heart and courage.
They've stopped this fight. Antonio Silva has won.
I've always wanted to fight the best, and beating Fedor was a dream come true.
There's a blueprint to beat Antonio Silva out there for anybody to get. Can't find that on me because I haven't lost.
Daniel Cormier is a great Olympic wrestler, but he can't become a great jiu-jitsu fighter overnight.
His size can actually be a hindrance. I'm a lot faster than he is. I'm a lot more athletic than he is. If I want to take him down, I'm taking him down.
I only wake up in a fight when I've been hit once or twice. Then I turn it on.
Tonight, this is the obstacle I have to cross in order to become that full-fledged mixed martial arts contender that I want to be.
I've trained for years to be here. Nothing is going to stop me from winning the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix.
And now, please welcome to the cage the U.S. Olympian Daniel Cormier.
Daniel Cormier has experienced terrific highs professionally, devastating lows personally. But here he is on the cusp of really authoring a tremendous story as he comes into the tournament as a replacement for Alistair Overeem. 8-0, an Olympic hero, and now facing the toughest test of his career against Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Why, again, Pat, do you believe he's ready for this test?
Listen, first and foremost, his accomplishments in life and in athletics is longer than my leg. and he is used to winning. That's all he's done his entire life. Yeah, he's lost a couple wrestling matches in his entire life, but barely. He's never had his rear end handed to him. He's undefeated in MMA. This kid is a winner.
Cormier is a natural leader as a captain of the Olympic wrestling team. And his key tonight, lots of takedowns. Just keep them coming. And be sure to damage Giant Silva in between those takedowns.
And now here is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt phenom, Antonio Bigfoot Silva.
Riding the momentum of his huge upset win in the opening round of the tournament against the last Russian Emperor, Antonio Bigfoot Silva. You know how they say the strong continue to get stronger? Well, he has joined Team Nogueira in Brazil, representing his country and representing the fact that here's a guy who has rarely tasted defeat and yet has to continue to assert himself in this tournament because now he goes from a feared striker to a feared wrestler. What does that do to your mentality when you're preparing for one style and all of a sudden find out you got to deal with something totally different?
Well, I'm sure Silva was going to be looking for takedowns against Overeem, put him on his back. I think once he had him there, he felt he could finish Overeem very easy. Now he's dealing with one of the best wrestlers on the planet in MMA. No longer is he looking for takedowns probably because he's going to end up on his back, very likely.
Giant Silva knows what it's like to be a champion. He's been a champion before. His biggest key tonight is those sweeps and elbows. There's no doubt in my mind he's going down. He's going to be on his back, but when he's there, he's got to turn this fight over and get those big elbows working.
At this time, we would like to welcome the men and women serving around the world, watching tonight's broadcast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network, on the eve of the 10th anniversary of 9/11. We thank you even more for all that you do. Let's go to the tail of the tape for this, the first semifinal matchup in the Strikeforce World Grand Prix Heavyweight Tournament.
The younger Silva has almost 6 inches in height advantage. He was 16.5 pounds heavier at weigh-in time, much bigger tonight, and he has a massive 11-inch reach advantage. He should be called Giant Reach Silva tonight.
And once again, don't forget, in the tournament fights, if the bout is scored a draw, the fight will go to a sudden victory round, and the 3 judges chosen by the Ohio Athletic Commission must determine a victor in that 4th round if necessary.
All right, fans, here we go. Strikeforce and Showtime present the co-main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the semifinals of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Standing at 5 feet 10.5 inches, he weighed in at 247 pounds. With a world-renowned background in wrestling, his MMA record stands at 8 wins, no losses, with 3 knockouts and 3 submissions. Please welcome the 2-time U.S. Olympian from Lafayette, Louisiana. Here is the undefeated Daniel Cormier. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Standing at 6 feet 4 inches, he weighed in at 264 1/2 pounds. His record stands at 16 wins and 2 losses, with 11 knockouts and 3 submissions. Please welcome the former heavyweight champion from Campina Grande, Paraíba, Brazil, introducing Antonio Bigfoot Silva. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, Greg Franklin.
Gentlemen, you've been giving your instructions back in the locker room. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands all the time. So I have any questions out of the red corner? Any questions out of the blue corner? Touch gloves, come out fighting.
If you're sitting at home and thinking to yourself, man, that referee looks a lot like Rich Ace Franklin, well, it's because it's his brother, Greg Franklin, and we are set for the first of our 2 semifinal bouts, 3 5-minute rounds. Antonio Bigfoot Silva in the red gloves, Daniel Cormier in the blue gloves.
The thing that stands out right away to me, Maura, look how big Silva's hands are compared to Cormier's, my goodness.
Yeah, when he delivers hammer fists, they're more like sledgehammer fists. And indeed, that's something that Cormier will want to avoid. And in preparing to face the wrestler, and one of the best wrestlers ever, is now Silva rushing Cormier to the fence. Cormier immediately turning away. Silva actually prepared for this fight with legendary BJJ black belt under the late Carlson Gracie, Ricardo De La Riva, the creative guard player in BJJ, known for the De La Riva guard. So if he does find himself on his back due to a takedown, like you said, Cormier just tagged Silva with the right hand.
It's exactly what Mike Kyle hit him with when they fought.
Absolutely, great point.
Got to be careful hanging out down here with him, though.
And it's interesting that Kyle, also victorious on the undercard, said that Silva was known for his quick, fast hands. Well, it's Cormier who draws first blood in the striking department. And he was saying, as I mentioned, the De La Riva angle, knowing for those sweeps, but Cormier lets him back to his feet. He knows better.
Here's where Cormier's got to be careful not get overconfident, because Silva still has power. When somebody's hurt, they're extremely dangerous.
We saw Cormier show marked improvement in his striking in his last victory against crafty veteran Jeff Munson, and there he tags him with the left. Silva still looking to regain his faculties.
It's the quickness, man. It's the quickness.
And again, the left hand.
Kills.
Uppercut from Silva, but he still has not fully recovered. Cormier tagging him now at will, and Silva going for the takedown. Sprawl by Cormier.
That means he's hurt.
Don't shoot a double on an Olympic wrestler. It doesn't work out for you.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Silva in trouble early in round 1.
Cormier's got to let him up. That right hand's landing. He's faster on his feet.
Cormier's got to be careful of those kicks going to his knee joints. That will dislocate your knee or damage it at very least if you're not careful.
It hurts too.
Yeah.
So drama already in the first of our 2 semifinals as Cormier has knocked down Bigfoot and continues to tag him in the early going. Now Bigfoot looking to regain momentum here. Set something up. High guard. And the jab.
Silva should be throwing kicks because it doesn't really matter if he goes to his back. He can work his submission holds.
What a sweep by Cormier.
This kid is sick.
Unbelievable. 8-0. An injury replacement. Many people wondered how he would fare. So far, passing the test with flying colors. But again, just 3 minutes into the opening round.
Got to keep that lead leg bent, man. He keeps getting kicked there.
He probably won't feel that till tomorrow, though.
Depends on how bad it gets hyperextended, right, Frank?
Yeah.
Well, the fans, and I think I agree with them in this time, not much happening. Cormier having all kinds of success in the stand-up. I'd back away if I were him. Bring it back to the feet, and that's exactly what's happening.
Hey, Cormier's being smart, man. He's working the clock. He hurts him, works the clock a little bit, hurts him, works the clock. Silva's got to get after it here, that's for sure.
Again, Silva with the distinct size advantage, plenty of power in his striking as well. Cormier now along the fence.
Cormier's laughing like, wow, I can't believe I got out of the way of those.
Again, looking to catch the kick, catches him with the right instead. 1:11 left in the first. The jab from Cormier. Uppercut! Down goes Silva! Hammerfist! Cormier has done it! Daniel Cormier has done it! He has just defeated Bigfoot! Cormier makes it to the final and improves to 9-0! Mamma mia!
This kid is dangerous for everybody.
Wow, what a moment! Daniel Cormier, two-time Olympic wrestler, proving to be a striking machine, pulling off a major upset here tonight.
I guess he didn't need them takedowns.
Hey, you got a couple, right?
The unpredictable world of mixed martial arts has just authored a dramatic chapter, a great sign of sportsmanship here by Bigfoot Silva. Daniel Cormier, will he be the Cinderella man of this tournament, coming in at 8-0? And wow, what a victory.
Yeah, and it was the speed. The speed is what was the factor here. Obviously, Cormier, very powerful, athletic, a great wrestler, but the kid's just, he's amazing. Very good instincts.
And the round started with a bang. It was all Cormier, overhand right on the chin. Silva just wilting from it, but having enough to go back to his guard and get good position, hand control. He went right back to his game, but they just kept coming.
Yeah, Cormier, man, that was a beautiful overhand right.
And Cormier patient, waiting, a nice little hook uppercut right there, shakes the head of Silva, you can see it, and he went down like a sack of potatoes into the fight right there. At a second look at the end of the fight, it's a left hook jab and an uppercut pop, just shakes the head and drops Silva like a bag right there. That last hammer fist, the last two, not even necessary. He was done.
Beautifully placed uppercut there at the end. That was sweet.
Well timed, finding the range. Really nice striking from an Olympic wrestler.
Comes down to instincts, right, Frank? This kid has instincts. Let's go up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 3 minutes 56 seconds in round number 1. He is the winner by way of knockout. Continuing to the finals of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix, Daniel D.C. Cormier.
Daniel Cormier, congratulations. It's true what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. My friend, a two-time Olympic wrestler, training at American Kickboxing Academy. Could you have scripted this any better? What did you think about tonight's performance?
Oh, it was great, man. I fought one of the top 5 heavyweights in the world and knocked him out. Give me some respect now.
Hey, Cincinnati, do you respect Daniel Cormier? I think they respect you, my man.
4-0 tonight for AKA.
A clean sweep.
4-0 for AKA. Hey, I want to thank my management company, Zinkin Entertainment. I love you guys. My little boy, Daniel, I miss you, brother. Daddy's coming home tomorrow. I love you. Guys, I'm going to the finals and I'm winning. I'm taking that title.
Speaking of the finals, before we get to that, let's take a look at the knockout, Daniel. Here's a chance for you not only to admire your work, but take us through what's happening.
I hit him with the jab, left hook, uppercut. Listen, he's no Cain Velasquez, and that's who I train with every day.
Now, speaking of the tournament, the next semifinal match is coming up. Josh Barnett against Sergey Haratonov. Who do you think wins and why?
It's a tough fight. Sergey's tough, but I got to go with Josh. Too much experience, too good on the ground.
I noticed you were kind of nursing the right hand. Did you hurt your hand?
On the first right hand I hit him with, I kind of jacked up my hand. I'm hoping it's not too bad, but if it is, oh well. I still got the knockout.
Yes, you did. Cincinnati one more time, undefeated at 9-0. Your winner via knockout, making his way to the final of the Strikeforce World Grand Prix Heavyweight Tournament, Daniel Cormier. All right, Heidi, now now from San Jose, California, we are just about ready for tonight's main event, and boy, do they have a tough act to follow. It is a culmination of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix. Josh Barnett versus Daniel Cormier. Mauro Ranallo here with the legend Frank Shamrock. And Frank, I don't know what Barnett and Cormier can do to steal the thunder, because we talked about Melendez and Thompson being a main event anywhere. Very close fight. I don't think you can argue with the decision going either way, but let's get to the main event now, because it is the culmination of a 16-month journey to determine who is the Strikeforce World Heavyweight Grand Prix. And for Josh, the War Master Barnett, what's it going to take for him to prevail?
Well, there's no doubt that Josh Barnett is unparalleled when it comes to grappling, submission ability, hey, and just fighting everybody in the world. But if he wants to win this title tonight, he needs to focus on a few key things. Josh Barnett has a ton of fights, but tonight he'll face his biggest challenge. To win, he's got to stick to that jab quickly, establish it, and then start hacking away at the body. Inside kick, low kick. He's got to force Cormier to take him down, because whether on his back or on top, the War Master is dangerous. And if you see this man on top of you raining down punches, you know what's coming next. That's the sideshow. He's finished off all the heavyweights with this move. I think he's going to try to put it on tonight.
Pat Miletich joining me now. And Pat, obviously Daniel Cormier, a feel-good story coming in as a replacement for Alistair Overeem, shocking the entire world, knocking out Antonio Bigfoot Silva, improving to 9-0 in his relatively embryonic MMA career. He told us during the fighter meetings that he's really never been in a fight. I think he's going to be in a fight tonight.
Right, and I think the world of Daniel Cormier. He's an exceptional athlete and a special person, and he told me one time, he said, Pat, I've never had my butt handed to me in a wrestling match or in a mixed martial arts fight. And to avoid getting his butt handed to him tonight by Josh Thompson, there's some details he better pay attention to. In Daniel Cormier's fight tonight against Josh Barnett, he needs to use his wrestling prowess. Daniel Cormier needs to grab those kicks of Josh Barnett, dump him on his back, or at least off-balance him so he can follow up with his own attacks. Being a great wrestler, he can decide where this fight goes, and he also possesses great power in both hands. Being able to use feints and fakes and keep Barnett confused on whether they are wrestling or grappling or striking at a certain time in the fight is going to enable Cormier to pull out victory here tonight.
Well, earlier tonight we asked you to predict the results for tonight's Heavyweight Grand Prix final. Here is how you voted. 49% favor Josh Barnett via submission, and 33% though for Daniel Cormier via KO. Really not surprised. If you were going to pick Josh Barnett, I guess it would be via submission. He is a catch wrestling specialist.
Well, and Barnett, yes, is a great submission guy, and that's the most likely way he's going to win. And people are smart. The fans are smart. Cormier by KO, he is that type of heavyweight that Barnett has always had problems with.
All right, speaking of Mr. Cormier, he is definitely someone who has risen to every challenge put in front of him. Tonight, the 33-year-old Olympian faces the biggest test of his blossoming MMA career as he attempts to win his first major belt in just his 10th professional bout. And despite being just 1 year older, Josh Barnett has 3 times more experience than Cormier when it comes to mixed martial arts. He's been the top dog before, and while his bark is second to none, his bite is his might.
Why do I think I'm going to beat him? For the same reason I think I'm going to beat everybody, because I'm the baddest son of a bitch there is.
If Josh called me the future has to be now. I don't look to another day and say my time's gonna come.
Daniel Cormier is a celebrated Olympic wrestler. He's a battle-trained veteran. By no means can you overlook Daniel Cormier. You do that,
Uppercut! Down goes Silva! Cormier has done it!
you're gonna end up face down on the canvas, knocked out.
Josh Barnett is a tough guy, well-rounded, has 1 fight standing, won a lot of fights with submissions, and obviously he's a wrestler. His accomplishments go on and on, as you expect from a guy that's been fighting since 1997.
This has the makings for a real final stage for the big grand finale.
Tonight is my graduation night. I graduate to the highest level of this sport, and I become a champion for the first time in my career in a major organization. I can't wait. I'm excited.
As long as I breathe and my heart pumps blood and I can still make a fist, man, I can destroy anybody.
And now, please welcome to the cage, the two-time U.S. Olympian, the undefeated Daniel Cormier.
Daniel Cormier lives by the words his mother shared with him in light of all the tragedy he has had to endure over the years, including bearing a baby daughter. God only gives you what you can handle. Well, tonight, he will have to handle his stiffest test ever in the form of War Master Josh Barnett.
Yeah, like I said, I think the world of this guy, but he is head and shoulders above almost every guy that's ever gotten into this sport in terms of wrestling credentials and knowledge, and it's even more rare a guy like this has absorbed striking as quickly as he has. He's a very dangerous guy in a lot of ways.
I just love Daniel Cormier's spirit, who he is as a person, and then to see him fight and take on MMA like the way he has, it's just inspirational. And you know, this was a guy that was bullied as a kid at school, who took up wrestling to help protect himself.
They created the monster.
Yeah.
He told us that he is in the best place he has been mentally ever. On March 4th of this year, his daughter Marquita joined his 14-month-old son Daniel Jr. He's now on the cusp of becoming the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix champion in just his 10th professional fight. And we have seen the constant evolution as a mixed martial artist. His wrestling background second to none, but he really has embraced all of the facets of MMA, taking to it like that moth to a flame.
And now, here is the international MMA star and the former world champion, Josh the War Master Barnett.
Josh Barnett encompasses the term sports entertainer. While dabbling in professional wrestling, there is no doubt that when he steps in a ring or cage for a mixed martial arts battle, it is all legit. The ultimate entertainer while still being a top fighter, going through Brett Rogers and Sergey Hermatonov in this tournament courtesy of the catch wrestling side choke. And yet really a lot of his memorable battles have had to take place in Japan because of a checkered past here in North America. Issues with performance-enhancing drugs and athletic commissions. He wants to put that all behind him. And by the way, he continues to maintain his innocence. Tonight, he can reclaim that legacy here in America. He wants to prove that he is indeed the baddest man in the heavyweight division.
Well, either way, he has been the baddest man before, and he wants to be tonight. One thing about Josh Barnett, when you fight him, you know you have to inflict massive amounts of damage to beat him.
You know, he's really bumped up his training, and particularly for his kicks on this one. He opened up his kicking style and started training in Savate, adding different angles, different styles, and different kicks that he thinks Cormier has never seen before.
And I think we see in his body language not only the respect for his opponent, but knowing full well what is at stake for his legacy. Very pensive, very purposeful in his walk to the cage. Not all about the entertainment here. This is all about business.
It is time for business.
Again, calling his fights in Japan when he made it to the final of the 2006 Pride Fighting Championships Openweight Grand Prix, losing in the final to Mirko Krokop, a former UFC heavyweight champion, a one-night Super Brawl champion where he went through 3 opponents, and now one win away from becoming the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix champion.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for these two going for the Grand Prix Championship. It is Daniel Cormier, who is 1 year younger than Barnett, but Barnett is 4.5 inches taller. Barnett weighed in 10 pounds heavier at weigh-in time, showing he's in shape, though, because he's usually heavier, and a massive 7-inch reach advantage for Barnett.
And now for the official introductions for tonight's main event, the incomparable Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome to the HP Pavilion as Strikeforce and Showtime present the featured bout of the evening. We are sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is John Frierson, executive officer George Dodd. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 5-minute rounds for the finals of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix Tournament. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and MMA fans joining us around the world, live from San Jose, California, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing at 5 feet 10.5 inches, he weighed in at 238 pounds. With a world-renowned background in wrestling, his MMA record stands at an unblemished 9 wins, no losses, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout and 3 by submission. Fighting out of San Jose, California, by way of Lafayette, Louisiana, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2-time U.S. Olympian and the current undefeated Strikeforce World Grand Prix finalist, introducing Daniel Cormier. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, standing at 6 feet 3 inches, he weighed in at 248 pounds. With a background in professional wrestling, he is undefeated in the past 6 years with a record of 31 wins, 5 losses, with 7 knockouts and 19 submissions to his credit. From Fullerton, California, please welcome the acclaimed Pride veteran and the former UFC heavyweight world champion, introducing Josh, the War Master Barnett. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, Josh Rosenthal.
Gentlemen. All right, gentlemen, read over your instructions. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands all times. Defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, go back, let's do this.
It began with 8 of the best heavyweights on the planet. The pre-tournament favorites, Fyodor Emelianenko, Alistair Overeem, are gone. The final 2 men standing, Josh Barnett and Daniel Cormier, about to get it on for the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix Championship. One of the best referees in the business, Josh Rosenthal, the 3rd man in the cage, Barnett in the red gloves, Cormier in the blue gloves. We are underway with tonight's main event.
Barnett's got a long, fast jab with that 7-inch reach advantage. Cormier's got to move that head or parry quickly.
I think Barnett understands he needs to set the pace early in this and try and stick and hurt Cormier.
And don't be surprised if you see a lot more kicks out of Josh Barnett. Has been training a lot in the French kickboxing art of Savant, Pat.
Yeah, and he's got nasty kicks to begin with.
Cormier, though, taking it to Barnett with his striking again. American Kickboxing Academy is where he has learned his striking skills and putting it on display here early in round 1. Boy, no feeling out process. These guys are going right at it. Kick from Cormier.
Cormier's wrestling balance is so solid, and when he throws those punches, it's like he's rooted to the ground.
And did you see the power in that snap down? He moved Barnett hard with that.
Yeah, he snapped him down and kneed him in the face, and I think he hurt the War Master with that strike. Cormier standing in the pocket, now moving. Barnett coming forward. Barnett, a catch wrestling specialist, but also has knockout power, although strikers have been his Achilles heel in the past, the likes of Pedro Hizzo and Mirko Krokop, and now Daniel Cormier, but Barnett back with a right, but Cormier comes back with 2 more. Body shot.
Looking for that liver, man, and that snap down again sent Barnett flying, and he did it again.
I like how he's snapping it down, throwing that counter hook right over the top.
Knee to the body by Barnett. Very patient, very composed, very focused is Daniel Cormier in the striking area.
I haven't seen those leg kicks out of Barnett yet.
He attempted a body kick early, fell on his gluteus maximus, and now gets rocked again with a couple of combinations. The crowd chanting DC, Daniel Cormier making bring us home now here in San Jose. Nice knee to the belly.
I thought we'd see Barnett just ripping big power kicks into the body, trying to get Cormier to either catch him or push through him or check him.
So far, Cormier negating the reach advantage of Barnett.
Nasty elbow by Barnett, sliding that elbow right over the top.
There we go.
Oh. 2 minutes left here in the opening round. Battle of the big boys here for the heavyweight Grand Prix Championship. Daniel Cormier now in a clinch with Josh Barnett. And Cormier going to the body and upstairs. Showcasing that striking prowess and really getting the better of Barnett in these exchanges.
Doing a nice job changing his targets all over the body of Barnett.
He's very fast.
And that's what he thought would be the difference. His speed, his athleticism.
That's something that Barnett needs to take advantage of because of the speed of Cormier. He needs to start moving his head when Cormier throws and throw at the same time. Trying to catch him coming in.
Triples up with the left hand. Minute 11 now left in the opening round. They collide momentarily. Daniel Cormier with the front kick. Cormier's never been taken down in his Strikeforce career. Of course, a wrestler out of Oklahoma State, 2004 Olympian where he won 4th. Was the captain of the 2008 team but was pulled from competition due to kidney failure. And now here on the verge of becoming Strikeforce heavyweight Grand Prix champion as again they clinch, and there's a push kick from Cormier.
You see when they're locked up how quickly Cormier changes angles and gets Barnett off balance, so he can't use his size.
Oh, and he lands a 1-2 right on the nose. Last 30 seconds of the round. Cormier's look sharp in the striking department. Now Barnett, though, gives him a taste of his own power.
That knee hurt him.
Cormier's face showing the pain. Pinning Barnett along the fence in the final 12 seconds of the first frame.
Those knees were one of the weapons he wanted to use.
Round 1 is in the books.
I think Cormier did a great job overall, though. Even though he got caught at the end of that round, I think he stayed busy, did a great job of keeping Barnett off balance, and won that round.
Cormier just leading strong with punches. I did not expect him to come out so confident and so tight in the pocket there, just unleashing. You know, Barnett's doing a great job of blocking, but he's using his forearms and he's using his elbows, and he's kind of leaving his body exposed in other areas. He's certainly coming back with some very nice and dangerous blows like that flying elbow.
Yeah, Cormier's doing a good job of moving his head also. Cormier's changing levels a lot. See how he ducked underneath and came right back with the straight right.
Very impressive display of his striking. It's unbelievable. You know, began as a wrestler, 10 fights, but Barnett comes on strong in the last few seconds of the round. Cormier outlanding Barnett in that opening round when it comes to punches, 31-15, but here's Barnett with a nice right hand and a knee to finish off the frame. So round 2 now underway as a referee Josh Rosenthal making sure everything is copacetic. Calls for the bell, and we are underway with the second round.
Cormier's got a target on his left eye now. Big old bruise from that knee.
I know Javier Mendez and Bob Cook had to be very pleased with what they saw from Daniel Cormier, especially when it came to the striking in that opening round, and he continues to tee off on Barnett here in the early stages of round 2.
I tell you what, Cormier hits extremely hard with a lot of speed and power, and Barnett's taking him.
Fingers, guys.
And when it comes to striking in that first 5 minutes, here is what we saw in terms of Daniel Cormier landing. Or 24-56 for Barnett, 40 of 83. So both of them having a good success rate, but Cormier just landing more.
Barnett doing a little better job this round so far, counter-punching on Cormier.
Yeah, I feel like he's loosening up a little bit, like he's a little bit tight that first round. We saw that when he went against Sergey Kharitonov. A little tight, took a few shots, and then he got his game going.
Barnett with the knee, backing up Cormier. Cormier doing a good job of moving away from the cage, taking the center of the cage again. Very patient, showing a lot of maturity, a little mouse now beginning to form under the left eye of Cormier.
And that's something that Barnett does really well right there. You just saw he touches down that right hand and punches right over the top, catches you coming in.
Barnett coming in much better shape as well. He weighed 261 when he fought Kharitonov at the weigh-in. He came in at the weigh-in yesterday at 248.
Yeah, much lighter. He's obviously worked very hard and eaten right.
Outside leg kick to the lead leg by Barnett. Comes in, delivers a knee. Cormier snaps his head down momentarily, turning the tables here. Wants to put Barnett on the fence and lands a right uppercut.
Beautiful short uppercut from the clinch.
Oh, body shot straight from the body with that right hand. Changing levels, Cormier looking for the takedown. Barnett very tough to take down as well, but I spoke too soon. Runs the pipe, and now Barnett's on his back, but again, Barnett very comfortable on the ground.
Yeah, and if Cormier wants you on the ground, most likely you're going to end up there.
Watch your fingers in the face, Daniel.
Just past the midway point of the round, Josh Rosenthal warning Cormier about the fingers in the face and the eyes.
Now watch Josh to turn his hips out, put a foot on the hip, start becoming active through here. This is where he does not want to stay into Daniel Cormier, because Daniel Cormier is just going to counter wrestle and ground and pound. He's not going to try to do anything else.
19 of Barnett's 31 career wins have come via submission. Cormier has finished 7 of his 9 professional bouts inside the distance.
Cormier's wrestling experience is coming into play here, not only holding him down, but trying to control inside and being able to throw those short elbows and punches.
Josh.
See how he digs back inside with his arms. That's just what he'd be doing in wrestling.
Good leg triangle choke position. Cormier straightens his back, postures up. Not even close.
Barnett got hurt badly with that elbow. It really stung him.
One of the things that Cormier said is he wants to absolutely avoid the half guard of Josh Barnett. There he goes, leg lock attempt. He's trying to turn it around. Cormier's got it blocked with his left arm straight out there. He's stopping the hips from coming around.
Well,
he's got to be careful.
He might be going for the arm. Yeah.
Barnett looking for the arm, the leg, and Cormier with the presence of mind to get out of the way. Now back into the guard as Barnett's face beginning to look like the proverbial crimson mask, and he is having problems with his eye. Final 55 seconds of the second round. Daniel Cormier in top position on the veteran Josh Barnett.
Yeah, those elbows of Cormier have busted Barnett up, and it showed in the expression of Barnett's face, the last hard one he got hit with.
Barnett trying to control the posture of Cormier, but now the open guard, now he closes the guard again in the final 30 seconds. Short elbow strike from Cormier. He's done a good job of busting up Barnett's face with those elbows.
Yeah, and he's paying the price by not being able to control inside position with arms. Cormier has been dominant with that while they've been on the ground, and he's tearing Barnett up with those elbows because of it.
Got advanced position.
You're watching the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix here in San Jose. Daniel Cormier, Josh Barnett for all the marbles as we head to round 3. Cain Velasquez, former UFC heavyweight champion, watching Daniel Cormier's AKA teammate in action. He will be in action a week from tonight at the all-heavyweight pay-per-view the UFC is putting on May 26th against Antonio Bigfoot Silva.
Josh, you cannot let him take you down like that again.
Well, the takedown was, well, it was the key to this round, I think, because Cormier, once he got that leg, just really stripped Barnett out and threw him on his back. And then from this guard position, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, and he did a nice job of blocking with his other leg and tripping Barnett's other foot with his other leg.
Yeah, and keeping in this position, tighten the guard, bringing those short elbows. That's what's cutting Josh. And that's what's also keeping him a little frightened to move out of that position, because every time he moves out, he gets a good whack and he can't protect himself.
Risking a lot of damage going for those submissions.
Cormier landed Barnett in ground strikes 22-3 after 10 minutes. How do you see the fight, Pat?
I see Cormier up 2 rounds to 0 right now.
And Cormier now has that mouse under the left eye. Barnett's face is busted up, so they are in a battle here heading into round 3.
Gentlemen, fight!
Barnett in the red gloves, Cormier in the blue gloves. Barnett comes forward immediately, backs Cormier up momentarily. Cormier ducking down.
Oh, nice angle change, counter strike.
Josh has that tendency to turn his hip and lean over to his left and then throw the right when his hip's already turned in, so he loses power on his right hand when he does that. I think he's looking to defensively throw punches.
Barnett changes levels. He's looking for the takedown now. Was going for the single, trying the double, but Cormier says, no, I will have none of that. I will put my overhooks in and keep you from taking me down, good sir.
That's about as close as anybody's been to taking Cormier down in this sport.
And Cormier is really vulnerable to knees right here. This is a great position for Barnett just to start marching up his body. That's what he hurt him with last time.
Good escape by Cormier, getting away from the cage. Looks like we might have a wardrobe malfunction. I think Cormier is worried about it as well. Pulling up those bridges. 3:56 left here in the third round. A nice series of lefts from Cormier. Barnett coming forward, inside low leg kick. Body shot. I like how Cormier ducks down, like you say, Frank, with the angles, goes to the left, and then just flashes that jab.
It's beautiful. And with his compactness and his explosion, he just has tremendous power when he comes off the ground. I was going to say a high switch kick would be really nice from Josh Barnett right now.
Cormier acting like a matador as he avoided the rushing bull. Barnett now the high crotch flip and a slam takedown by Cormier. Wow!
Had the single leg run in the pipe. Barnett defended it and he went high on the crotch and just hoisted him up and dumped him. Beautiful.
Into side control. What a takedown by Cormier.
This is the worst place you can be with a great wrestler. When they're cross sides, they get you here. They are tough to get out of there.
Cormier continues to grind away on Barnett with those elbow strikes. Barnett trying to escape this position on his back.
That left arm of Barnett is pivotal right here. See how he's digging that underhook in to come back up.
And a nice reversal by Barnett, but right into the guillotine choke attempt by Cormier. And Barnett escapes easily. So really was unable to reap much in terms of dividends when it came to a dramatic takedown into side control against the catch wrestling specialist, Josh Barnett.
Sick explosiveness.
Ooh, left head kick there, grazing the cheek of Cormier.
Hey guys, you talk about the opponents that Josh Barnett has picked. Nobody has picked him up like that and thrown him on the ground.
Daniel Cormier just in here in the final of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix. Mauro Ranello along with Frank Shamrock and Pat Militich and Heidi Androl, our entire Showtime Sports crew. We hope you're enjoying the action. Strikeforce back in its home of San Jose, California on Showtime. Pace beginning to slow down a bit again. The two heavyweights going at it. Cormier looking to continue to pick apart Barnett. Barnett trying to avoid the strikes.
Cormier's just simply doing a wonderful job of stalking him, staying out of his range and exploding in when he needs to, getting him off balance and tagging him with good shots.
Ooh, Cormier almost
made a bit of a knee there.
Into the knee, but was looking for the takedown, avoided the brunt of that blow. A minute 19 left in the round. Right head kick by Cormier hurts Barnett, and Cormier now beginning to go in for that kill, unloading the strikes, knees to Barnett. Barnett in trouble along the fence, but then comes back with an uppercut of his own. A minute left in the round.
You don't expect a guy that's 5'10" to land a shin bone against your head when you're as tall as Barnett is. Here he's going up in the air.
Got his back.
Going for a ride.
And maybe looking to take a page out of Barnett's playbook. He's known for those belly to back German suplexes. Cormier looking to add to his highlight reel.
Don't forget about the rolling knee bar.
Fingers on the fence, Josh. Fingers on the fence.
30 seconds left in the round.
Trying to get around that head and arm, trying to get around that shoulder.
Cormier with the waist cinch, but unable to take Barnett down with 15 seconds left in the round. Daniel Cormier continues to assert himself impressively here in this championship bout. He wasn't even in the tournament when it began, but one of the hottest prospects in MMA made full opportunity, took advantage of his opportunities, and now, after 3 rounds, seems to be well on his way. And Robert the Ghost Guerrero, who you can see on Showtime July 28th against Selçuk Aydın, enjoying the action cage side.
Well, this has got to be seen at least one more time. Just to lead in with combinations and then pick that hip up. The strength that it takes to do this.
Yeah, and it comes down to having beautiful technique also. He's obviously freak strong, but beautiful. He's running the pipe and then he changes, gets his hips in deep. You can lift a lot with your hips and legs. He knows how to do it well. He's done it his whole life and launched a 250-pound man up into the air like he was nothing.
And of course, Daniel Cormier, also a pro wrestling fan. He was trying to go for the 3 count there, not legal in MMA.
Few kicks out of Daniel Cormier, and the one that landed just rocked him, man. I thought I'd see a few more kicks out of Daniel Cormier on this one, like when he fought Munson. That one was well-timed, and it was stoned Barnett.
Into the championship, round 4 and round 3. Cormier doubling up Barnett in total strikes landed, 22-11. The 4th round is underway. The 2-touch gloves, the War Master coming forward in the red gloves. Cormier in the blue gloves. Outside leg kick by Barnett. And I don't know if I've ever seen Barnett's face look like it does right now.
Bring that fight. Use it.
Cormier has busted him up with his striking, but now it's Barnett's turn, landing a knee to the head.
He was being smart because Cormier leans to his right a lot, so he led with the punches and followed with that knee to that side and caught him.
And I think the last time Barnett looked like this was at the hands of Mirko Krokop in 2006 in the Pride Fighting Championships Open Weight Grand Prix.
You're right, though, Pat. That punch, marching knee combination, very effective.
Needs to do it more, try and cut Cormier or daze him, and then try and pour it on after that.
Cormier comes in again with a left hook.
Do something with it. Do something.
What Cormier does so well is he mixes up his attack. 1 minute he's punching, he's throwing kicks, he's faking a double leg, throwing a punch, and then hitting a single leg into a crotch lift. You don't know what's coming next from him. He's very versatile in a short period of time in his career.
Right there, right there. Pressure. Pressure. That's it, yeah.
Uppercut. Quick exchange. Barnett now looking to flash the jab, misses with the overhand right. 3:30 left, left head kick by Cormier.
That was
blocked by the arm. And right head kick, so he is mixing it up. Left head kick, right head kick. Body upstairs. Cormier just showcasing all of his striking diversity, and Barnett now bull rushes him, puts a knee in the midsection. Cormier pummeling along the fence.
Barnett got to knee that thigh right here.
Off the fence. Off the fence. Sit down.
Watch your fingers in the face, gentlemen.
You know, when Cormier wants to move and get off the cage, he does it so effortlessly. Great footwork, great technique, great leverage.
Spinning back fist misses by Barnett. Cormier again comes in. Tries to land the combos and immediately backs up. Barnett now coming forward, misses with a right cross.
The movement of Cormier has given Barnett problems on where to throw his punches. That's why he's not able to put full steam on most of them. Very tentative.
Cormier goes in for the shoot and then pops off a right hand and now goes in again for the takedown attempt. Securing the left leg, wanting to run that pipe on the big Barnett. Wow. Barnett, though, goes down looking for that knee bar, I think. Yep. Frank, he was looking for the rolling knee bar, but now has Barnett, or excuse me, me, Cormier in top position.
Got to get that leg through the center of Cormier's legs.
Barnett looking for the leg.
Leg position.
Going for a knee pinch. He's going.
Cormier's got to keep spinning.
That's a cross-side heel hook.
Barnett looking to pull off the submission win. Cormier escapes. And he's probably lucky that it's a minute 33 left in the fourth round. It's the big boys, and there's plenty of perspiration on their bodies. Barnett threatening, but Cormier ends up back in his closed guard.
I think Cormier shaved his legs for this. He's slipping right out of stuff. That was a beautiful, beautiful chain going for those leg locks by Barnett.
And Cormier said that was his biggest concern. He didn't know enough about him, but he knew he needed to get out of him.
Cormier's corner, a.k.a. imploring him to deliver short elbow strikes, where, of course, he's done the majority of his damage to the visage of Barnett. 52 seconds left in this fourth round. The Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix Tournament reaching its conclusion here tonight. And Daniel Cormier looking to firmly put himself on the map. Barnett saying, you know what? Cormier has a bright future. Cormier telling us his future is now, and boy, he's really looking to prove that so far in this fight.
Doing a great job of it so far, making a heck of a statement.
And the blood flowing from the face of Barnett.
I think his nose got busted up pretty good.
What used to be his nose. As there's the knee strike, Cormier backed up to the fence. 13 seconds left in the round.
Leaning into that knee again. Barnett's wising up to it.
Here at the HP Pavilion in San Jose, we're headed to the fifth and final round of the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix.
Sit out. Breathe for me. Let's go. Use some big air. Big air. Up your nose, out the mouth. Slow it down.
Striking by Cormier, which has been just short and brutal and constant, and after and before everything. An uppercut has been a tremendous blow for him. He really is trying everything out there. Kick, wrestle.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of mixing up his attack. Here's the high kicks. I tell you what, the guy that's 5'10" throwing head kicks on a tall guy like Barnett, pretty impressive stuff. You got to be pretty flexible.
Here's a takedown attempt where Josh was going for a bit of a shoulder lock, but that leg trip ripped everything out, put him in the side mount position again. He went right to the leg lock, which put him in leg position and got Cormier scrambling like crazy.
Yeah, and that's the most dangerous position. As you well know, Frank, having your leg across their body on the wrong side, that's when you're most in danger. Cormier was able to get out of that. Good thing, because he would have been in trouble.
The fifth and final round. Daniel Cormier broke his right hand in knocking out Antonio Silva. Rebroke it last December, but showing no ill effects here so far tonight when it comes to his striking. And the two warriors shake hands as we are set. Round 5. Josh Barnett in the red gloves. Daniel Cormier in the blue gloves.
I need you first, DC. I need you first.
And Pat, really, we are on the verge of seeing the arrival of a bona fide heavyweight contender in Daniel Cormier so far tonight, being able to take the fight to Josh Barnett, a decorated veteran of the sport.
Yeah, he's beating one of the top 3 to 5 heavyweights in the world, former world champion in several organizations. Barnett is an incredible fighter, and Cormier in just his 10th fight is getting it done.
Time.
Cormier had to slip on the water over there. I told Rosenthal there's water over there.
No.
They're going to take a break.
Smart. You don't want to slip and fall down and have Josh Barnett on top of you.
All right, Josh. Gentlemen, come in. Let's fight.
Where's Barnett? I need to be in first. You gotta throw. You gotta throw.
With the recent upheaval in the heavyweight division, all the changes going on at UFC 146, this Daniel Cormier really putting in a Stars-born performance and really looking to turn the division on its ear, Pat.
Yeah, and all the heavyweights that have trained with him at AKA, and there is a long list of great heavyweights over there, like Cain Velasquez. They know how tough this guy is. He is an incredible heavyweight.
But never count out Josh Barnett, a veteran 3 times more experience than Cormier. A champion in pancrase in the UFC. Star in Japan, in various organizations, and now wanting to reclaim his status as one of the best American mixed martial artists ever. A tournament victory would definitely help him do that, but it's here in San Jose, it's all DC, DC, the chants from the crowd at the Shark Tank. Left hand from Barnett. So far, it looks like Barnett's been attacked by a shark here. Daniel Cormier just really picking him apart. 2:55 left in the fight.
And I think Cormier knows he's up on the cards. He's being smart right now. He's being reserved. Barnett's got to do something crazy at this point.
Now, this is when you start digging deep. There's some of those holes that, you know, people don't know anymore.
Midway through the final round, Josh Barnett has to dig down deep into his bag of tricks here if he wants to pull out the victory. Daniel Cormier still light on his feet here in the 5th round.
At this
Left
point,
and
Barnett has got to cut him off. He's following him around the ring. He's got to cut off the ring, and he's got to go on the attack and try and land something big.
There's a nice 1-2 combination put together by Cormier. His striking is just unbelievable from where it started to where it is now. And in a relatively short period of time, Pat, you know yourself, training champions, having been a champion, missing with a spinning back fist. It takes years to perfect striking. Now, Cormier with the takedown. Just how impressed are you with his overall striking here tonight?
Well, I think what really is the key is his style of wrestling, the way he wrestled. There's a big left.
Again, this time Barnett able to stay on his feet.
It's the way he wrestled, his fleet-footed style. He was very explosive, very quick wrestler. It lends itself to understanding striking because he understands angles and being quick and explosive.
The final minute, 11 seconds of this fight. The final minute, now 5 seconds of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix. Who is going to emerge with the title? Undefeated upstart Daniel Cormier looking to go 10-0, or Josh the War Master Barnett, who wants to add another accolade to his hardware collection.
Cormier content to hang out here and keep him against the cage. He knows he's got it won. Barnett needs to do something.
42 seconds.
Got to fight your heart out to get off that cage and get something going. Got double unders, needs to move now.
Cormier just leaning on him.
Those hips are in heavy.
Watch the head, watch the head.
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Barnett can, DC let him out of there.
On a Saturday, May 19th, 2012, in the final of the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix, I do believe a star has been born in Daniel Cormier. And Cormier's family and friends on their feet, clapping for his performance here tonight. We're going to the judges' scorecards. Pat, how do you score this fight?
Clean slate for Cormier. Cruised through, controlled the entire fight. Amazing performance out of Cormier. His composure with only 10 professional fights, it shows the experience high-level wrestling has done for him, to be honest with you.
Just what he's accomplished in 10 fights is extraordinary. The people he's beaten, the things he's faced in his life, the things he's faced are extraordinary. That he goes in there and still competes.
When you've been through what he's been through, I think it lends itself to, if you make it through it, being great.
Both warriors showing the vestiges of what was a tough battle here tonight, but for Daniel Cormier, total strikes landed 126. For Barnett, 80, and Barnett being looked after by one of the preeminent cut men in the business, Jacob Stitch Duran.
Lots of highlights from the last round. You know, the boy's tired a little bit, but it didn't stop Cormier from dropping them bombs. And you know, I didn't like the way Barnett moves his head out of the way when he gets hit. It looks like it hurts a lot more than it does. But he stayed on him. The spinning back fist didn't land, but it put Cormier in a great wrestling position.
Watch that, yeah, that tight circle right there that Cormier turns to put him on his back and put him against the cage at the same time. Very quick feet to do that, understanding how to turn the angles.
Yeah, and he went one more time to the moon. It was awesome. Yeah, he's like throwing a refrigerator.
And you notice where he locks his hands around the hips to control the hips. When your opponent can't get his hips out, tough time to stop a throw.
Well, Pat, besides the striking, I was most impressed at his ability to take down and then change position so quickly and be damaging him already.
Versatility, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at cage side, Steve Morrow, sees the bout 49-46. Judges A. Bellardo and Susan Thomas Gitlin see it 50-45. All three in favor of the winner. He is now the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix Tournament Champion, Daniel Cormier.
He is the new Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix Champion. When this tournament started, Daniel, you were not in the field of 8. You came in as a replacement for Alistair Overeem. You shocked the world by knocking out Antonio Bigfoot Silva. And tonight, you defeated one of the top heavyweights in MMA history in Josh Barnett. Daniel, can you please try to put into words what this moment means to you?
It means everything for me to beat somebody like Josh Barnett. I've lost a lot of people in my life, and this is for all of them. My daughter, Hayden, my dad, and my family, man. This means the world to me.
Daniel, you have been through a lot in your life, and you told us, though, that coming into this fight, you were in the best place mentally you've ever been with your fiancée, Selena. You've got the 2 children now, and now you have that belt around your waist. And what impressed all of us at cage side, and I'm sure the fans here tonight, forget about the wrestling, my man. You're a full-fledged mixed martial artist. Your striking is unbelievable.
You know, man, I owe that to my teammates. They're all right here. Cain Velasquez, Luke Rockhold, Mike Kyle, those guys kick my ass every day, man. And that means I can go with anybody else in the world.
Daniel, talk about what this means now in terms of where you're at in the heavyweight division. You just won this tournament, and you did it in very impressive fashion.
That's not my job. I'll let that play out how it is. I want to focus on the fact that I just beat Josh Barnett.
Yes.
And this is something that a year ago I never thought I could do. So I appreciate Strikeforce, Showtime, Zuffa, and Josh Barnett for giving me this fight and giving me the opportunity to be one of the best heavyweights in the world. Thank you, guys.
He is now undefeated at 10-0. He is the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix Champion, Daniel Cormier. We're going to try to get a few words in here with Josh, the War Master Barnett. Let's hear it for Josh Barnett as well, everyone. Went 5 tough rounds with Daniel Cormier. Josh, I know you're nursing the left arm. Can you tell us what you think happened?
I broke the ever-living crap out of my hand in the first round on Daniel's head. It's a good left hook. I can see it hurt him, but it hurt me a lot more. And it is killing me. But, you know, it's like the doctor come in between every round. He's like, hey, how's the eye? I'm like, fine. There was no way I was going to stop fighting. I was going to make him earn this. I knew it was every time I had a minute, any second I could win this fight. And today Daniel was better, and he's a great athlete, and I always knew he was going to be a hell of an opponent. And so if I get in there and throw down and draw blood with anybody and call him my brother, I'm glad it's Daniel.
Well, thank you very much, Josh. I hope it's not a serious injury. Congratulations on making it to the tournament, but tonight belongs to Daniel Cormier. San Jose, he's one of your own. Let's hear it for the Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix Champion out of American Kickboxing Academy, Daniel
To the cage, the heavy-handed heavyweight from Holland, Dion, the Soldier Starring.
With 14 victories coming by way of knockout, Dion Starring will have to use some of that power in his fist, Pat, if he's going to get by Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, he's going to have to land it quick, though, before Cormier puts him on his back. This is a huge fight. If he wins this fight, if he pulls off a victory here tonight, undoubtedly it'll be the biggest upset I've ever seen in the sport.
Well, he's been training with Alistair Overeem for 10 years, so he knows how to bang. He helped Overeem prepare for the Junior Dos Santos fight. And his key in the cage, you know it, don't go to the ground, man. Avoid the ground at all costs. He's stepping up big time in competition tonight.
Starring a massive 20-1 underdog in this fight. As Pat alluded to, if he could pull off this upset, goes down in history as maybe as big as Buster Douglas over Mike Tyson or Matt Serra upsetting George St. Pierre.
Yep.
He will have his work cut out for him, taking on Daniel Cormier in his homecoming back to Oklahoma.
And now making his way to the cage and returning home, the Oklahoma State University All-American, Daniel Cormier.
The crowd is on their feet here in Oklahoma City as the former Cowboy Daniel Cormier returns home to take on Dion Starring.
Yesterday at the weigh-in, these guys, Starring got in his face. I don't know if that's the best strategy to do to Daniel Cormier, maybe goad him into slugging with him. Cormier, I think, is smarter than that, though. He'll probably use his wrestling, get the takedown quick, and get the heck out of here.
Well, that's what's key in the cage. You know it. He's got to take this down, throw takedowns, get him down. I think if he gets this fight to the ground, which I have 100% confidence he's going to do, I think it's going to end quick.
Well, unlike many of the fighters tonight who are basically auditioning for a job for their new bosses at Zuffa, Daniel Cormier knows that his next home will be the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He has signed his contract. That could be dangerous if he's overlooking Starring, but this is a guy who has been through so many wars, Olympic trials, Olympic matches.
And so people understand what level wrestler this guy is. Yes, he was a two-time Olympian, but he was one of only 10 U.S. wrestlers to win the Ivan Yargin Memorial International Tournament in Russia. Only 10 Americans have won it, and he's one of them.
Incredible. Daniel Cormier, undefeated at 10-0.
All right, fans, here we go as Strikeforce and Showtime present 3 5-minute rounds in a heavyweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6 feet and 1/2 inch. He weighed in at 240 pounds with a record of 28 wins and 7 losses. He has 14 wins coming by way of knockout and 8 by submission. Here is the well-versed freestyle fighter from Arnhem in the Netherlands, introducing Dion, the Soldier Starring. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5 feet 10.5 inches. He weighed in at 230 pounds. With a renowned background in wrestling, his record stands at 10 wins, no losses, 4 wins by knockout, and 3 by submission. Fighting out of San Jose, California, by way of Lafayette, Louisiana, and proudly representing his alma mater of Oklahoma State University, please welcome the 2-time U.S. Olympian and Strikeforce Heavyweight World Grand Prix champion, the undefeated Daniel Cormier. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, John McCarthy.
Gentlemen, went over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Fight clean, fight hard, fight fair. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Step back. Good luck to both of you.
There's the Cormier family in attendance rooting Daniel Cormier on as he takes on Dion Starring. The Strikeforce heavyweight champion looks to stay undefeated. He's got the red gloves on and the black trunks. Dion Starring in the blue corner. John McCarthy's tagline, fighters touch gloves, and we are underway.
Close that hand, Dion, close it. Close the hand, I don't want your fingers out.
Uppercut misses there by Starring. John McCarthy saying, close your hand, Dion.
Dion, close the hand.
Doesn't want to see this fight end by, upper kick by Cormier.
Didn't quite expect a wrestler to kick him in the head that quick.
McCarthy doesn't want to see an accidental finger poke as the two fighters clinch up.
That was a real bad mistake by Dion Starring to tie up with Daniel there. Yeah. I'm surprised Daniel let it go.
Ron Kruk, Frank Shamrock, Pat Miletich here for the Strikeforce final event on Showtime.
Nice inside trip. Oh, Starring got out of it.
Nice defense there by Starring, but didn't last long. Cormier takes Starring down and will work from side back.
Nice job following up. Missed the inside trip and then hit that lateral throw.
Yeah, Starring better get his guard back or something. He's going to get chopped up here.
In a position to eat some big elbows is Dion Starring. Cormier very patient from the side.
Starring's doing everything he can to control that arm. He knows he doesn't want to eat an elbow. And that's what he's going to chew on if he can get that arm free.
And Cormier is just trying to pin the right arm down of him, expose his face, open him up.
Here we go.
Crucifix position.
Cormier.
Starring got his arm free out of the legs there.
He's scrambling, looking to get up, but now Cormier has the back of Starring. Starring gets up. Cormier peppers him with a few short, sharp shots. And fighters break. Well, he survived his first takedown.
He's wrestling a lot better than I expected.
I think Daniel let him up.
Big shot misses there from Starring. High kick.
Haircut.
Felt the breeze over here, cage side, and now big shots landed by Daniel Cormier.
It hurt him.
Starring is in trouble. The heavyweight champion smells blood and takes him back down to the canvas.
Nice job, great combo, set up the takedown perfectly, smart move. You know, Cormier's got to be thinking about keeping his hands healthy.
Cormier did break his hand in his last fight against Josh Barnett, so you make a good point there, Pat.
Yeah, and he's got big paydays. If he can get through this and get this thing done with, he's got some big paydays coming, so staying healthy is important.
2 minutes to go here in round number 1, scheduled for 3. Daniel Cormier and Dion Starring. Here come the elbows from Cormier. They're getting through.
Starring, no answer. Got no answer on his back.
Looking to get up. This is worked last time. He lost his mouthpiece. Big kick from Cormier.
Mouthpiece is gone, huh?
Big John calls timeout. Gets in there to give the mouthpiece back to Starring.
A lucky break and a little bit of rest for Starring.
Saw Alistair Overeem in the corner of Starring. He's been training with the Blackzilians for a while. So he moves in, throws an elbow. Fighters clinch up as Cormier pushes up Starring against the cage.
I'm surprised that Starring has been the one that has engaged Cormier in the clinches a couple times.
Cormier slowly takes Starring back down to the mat and delivers a few more elbow shots. Posturing up. Here comes some big bombs. Cormier dropping some leather. Starring could be in some trouble here.
They need to start popping them hips.
Cormier is really controlling himself very well throughout this entire fight.
Elbows to the side of the head.
just a steady workman's pace. I think he knows this guy has lasted in some tough fights and come back on people. So he's just steady, beating him up, wearing him out.
20 seconds to go here in round number 1. What were the odds that Dion Starring would even make it into round number 2? 10 seconds. Cormier dropping some bombs as that will do it for round number 1. Complete domination so far by Daniel Cormier. As his family looks on, Cormier had to get a lot of tickets here in Oklahoma City for family and friends.
The big takedown. It came from that nice grip, and he just tossed him right over.
And Starring was posting on Daniel's hips to try and keep him back so he couldn't throw him, and he just blew through it.
And came to strike, and they're both willing to give it. A beautiful shot from Cormier right on the button. Starring's got a good chin, but he cannot stop these takedowns. That's what's killing him. There's another one right here, and it came from this leg trip. He spun him right around, drug him down.
See how he adjusted his legs to come down and cross sides and then goes to mount and finishes the round impressively there. Nice highlight reel for him.
When this fight was on the ground, it was all Cormier. He landed 22 ground strikes compared to Starring's 0. Round number 2 here in Oklahoma City. Heavyweights, Daniel Cormier and Dion Starring. Cormier in the black trunks, Starring in the white.
Cormier did say he was worried about the unpredictability and the punching behind Starring, because he just comes from crazy angles.
Yeah, those are the most dangerous guys. They can be really wild.
Cormier clinches up.
Working hard for this takedown, but switching up to knees. I had to like that strategy, beat the knees out.
Yeah, Daniel just keeps changing things up on you and eventually finds something. He's not in a big hurry either.
Power strikes landed all Cormier, 18-0 right now. Alistair Overeem shouting out instructions from the Starring corner as he presses forward. Cormier jab.
Wow.
Big exchange there. Starring with a shot to the body. And back in the clinch. Cormier takes him to the mat.
Notice how he draped his body to the left and hung on his opponent's body when he had that inside trip. Perfect technique on that.
Cormier moves his legs to get side control again, and this is where those elbows have been delivered throughout this fight.
Now Starring's up against the cage. Bad place to be here.
Watch the crucifix, watch the crucifix.
Starring has been able to escape from this position in the first round, but now Cormier looking to take the back of Starring and to get...
Starring sort of monkey rolls through to give himself a better position, but I don't know if this is the better position right now.
Big elbow delivered from Cormier, got through. Another one. And now some big shots. He's got to watch hitting the back of the head.
Yeah, that's right, Ron. Good point.
Cormier mounting up.
Watch the back of the head.
That one looked like it could have been illegal.
There's an armbar there if he wants it, but I don't think he wants it.
Watch it. There you go.
Now dropping some hammer fists is Daniel Cormier. It's been all Daniel Cormier in this one. Dion Starring basically just surviving.
Oh, I've been in that position. That really sucks.
Not fun. And here comes the big bombs. Cormier just taking control of this fight at this point.
Starring's taking a ton of abuse here. Guy's got a lot of heart. We talked about that before, but man.
Daniel Cormier, 4 wins by way of knockout, 3 by way of submission. He's coming off that big win over Josh Barnett and continues to pepper Dion Starring.
Here we go.
Starring is tough as nails, dude. He's still hitting him.
Taking some 6 shots.
At what point does he say enough's enough?
Well, I'm thinking John's going to step in here pretty soon.
1 minute to go in round number 2. And that's going to do it. Good call by Big John McCarthy to stop this fight as it was all Daniel Cormier. Complete domination for Cormier in front of the hometown fans in Oklahoma City. Give the underdog Dion Starring some credit for surviving. He took a beating, showed a lot of heart.
I like this game plan too. I mean, he had a game plan, lowered himself down, got that hand ready. He took it seriously. He just was outmatched.
He was also managed to escape a couple of those submission attempts by Cormier. I was impressed. Anytime you're training with the Black Zillions and guys like Rashad Evans and Alistair Overeem, you're with a solid camp.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to learn from that. Well, this is going to be the Daniel Cormier highlight reel, Frank.
Yeah, he's gonna like this for later. I mean, he did every technique he wanted to in this fight, taking it down at will. Some of those takedowns he really worked for. Giving credit to Starring, he didn't go down easy. But stuff like this, where he's just completely dominating from the back, from the side, nice, just ground and pound, really just beat him down, slowly took his time, put him out. And John was watching the whole time, and we could feel it. Starring was running out of options. Yep. He was running out of positions to go to, and wisely John stepped in and saved him, because I don't think this guy was going to give up.
You know what? That is a great point, Frank. We saw a few questionable calls here tonight by the referees in Oklahoma City, but there's the pro. Why let him continue to beat on an overmatched fighter? Well, let's make it official and head back to the Strikeforce cage and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
We have the time of 4 minutes, 2 seconds in round number 2. Our referee in charge, John MacArthur, stops the contest due to strikes. He is the winner by way of technical knockout and still undefeated, Daniel Cormier.
All right, here with Daniel Cormier. Daniel, great performance. He's not a big name guy, but he stuck it out in there for quite a while with you and took a lot of abuse. Tell us about your performance and how you feel about it.
I felt good. I mean, I did exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to wrestle him, stand with him a little bit, and control him with the ground fighting. I mean, he's a very, very tough guy. He stepped up when most guys didn't. But my original opponent went out with an injury, so right now, I'm telling you, April 20th on Fox, I signed my UFC contract. Frank Mir, you and me, let's do it.
That's a big fight, buddy. Now, that being said, that you're going to go into the UFC and fight Frank Mir in the heavyweight division, what are the chances in the future, though, that we're going to see you at 205 pounds hunting a man named John Jones?
I'm going to let John defend his belt April 27th, and I'm going to kick his ass in the fall.
One last question. Daniel, how's it feel to come home in terms of your college wrestling career at Oklahoma State and end your Strikeforce career here in Oklahoma?
I love Oklahoma. It's my home for 10 years. Go Pokes, baby!
All right, your Strikeforce champion, Daniel Cormier, back to cage side.
Well, I guess we know what's next for Daniel Cormier. He wants Frank Mir. That was supposed to be the matchup here tonight, Frank, in Oklahoma City. But of course, Mir was injured and had to pull out, but that would be an awesome fight.
That would be an awesome fight, and I see, I see Cormier wrecking him, man.